October 15th. Yeah, we're having some trouble lately with family members who are very sick. So, you guys know I'm going to Michigan tomorrow. It's possible I'm going to go tonight. I was going to stay till Monday and drive back Monday, but I'm probably going to leave Sunday and I'll be able to stream on Monday. But yeah, the news that we're getting is pretty bad. So maybe I'll take a few days off. Anyway, and there's other family members that aren't doing well. And 2020 sucks. All right. Yeah, mainly I was sleeping this afternoon. I was exhausted and I kept getting more bad news. So I guess I had to wake up. Anyway, let's see. I was asleep when the tragedy struck Farrugia that some of you already know about. Let me refresh the stream. Let's see. I guess I should wait like 5 minutes for people to show up. So they can get notified and stuff. Yeah. Probably I'm going to stream and then go home and pack and drive to Michigan. I was going to do laundry, but it's like 2 hours. So, let's see. Getting to Michigan at 9 a.m. is better than 11 a.m. Yeah. So I'll probably do that. Then I won't have to do laundry. So, let's see this. Yeah, exactly. Split gas money. I'm probably not going to stream for 4 hours, which was my plan, because I keep getting bad news. There's a small chance the stream's just going to end. Yeah, hopefully not. Truth hurts. Okay. When I saw what happened to Farrugia today, which I'll show you after this, it reminded me of this. And is this the first time we met trying to learn? No, we met in... Wait a minute. Yeah, Manhattan was before... in person. Manhattan was before the World Open, right? Manhattan was June? And the World Open was July? Is that right? I don't know. I thought we met at Manhattan first, then the World Open, but maybe it's the other way around. Oh, after the World Open. Okay. So this was the first time we met, was the World Open last year, about 15, 16 months ago. And this was my last game. So I decided last year when I played in Foxwoods and the World Open, no draws. Okay? And I draw a lot, so I was like, fuck that, no draws. So the first 8 rounds of Foxwoods, I had 5 wins and 3 losses. And in round 9, I played Abi, the famous IM kid who's like 9. And he offered me a draw every move. And some of the draw offers were followed by speeches. And he was winning or better, but he didn't want to win. And eventually, I thought I was winning, and that's when it was a dead draw. So the game ended in a draw. That was my last game. I've never had a 9-round tournament since I've been a reasonable player against reasonable players where there were no draws. Where I'm playing IMs and GMs and FMs. That's never happened. It still never happened. Then the World Open, I had 4 wins and 2 losses. And this was round 7, was this game. And I think this woman won the women's tournament that Karen played in beforehand. She's like 2,400 FIDE, 2,370 FIDE, somewhere in there. I think she's a WGM, but she might be an IM, I don't know. And she beat some GM the round before here, like pretty easily. And I was much better, and then it was equal, and then I was better, and then it was equal. But I don't think I was ever winning this game. This is move 81, and we both had like 3 minutes left with increment, and this is a dead draw, obviously. And my opponent surprised me. She took the rook, which I figured probably drew, but it's an easy draw to not take the rook. But I guess this was also easy for her. Okay, now obviously, if I'm playing Farrugia, it's like 100% I'm going to win now. But I'm not playing Farrugia. So, okay. And King F6 and King F7 both draw. And this is very similar to the Farrugia game, except Magnus's pawn is like here or something. It's otherwise the same. So this has less winning chances than Magnus had. Now, this will surprise a lot of you, I think. You see all these legal moves? Only 2 of them draw, and the other 6 lose. So that's why I was surprised she traded rooks, because she has to figure out, the way to draw, but I guess she was super confident. The Ultimate Potzer subscribed. Yeah. Whenever I stream Thursday, people in the chat go, wow, you're streaming early. And it's almost 100% of the time I'm streaming late, which is really the case here. I stream Thursdays 3 to 7 every Thursday. However, I never stream 3 to 7 because I'm always taking a nap. So I always start like 5, 6, 7, and I still stream for 4 hours. But people are like, wow, you're here early. And I'm thinking like, I'm 2 hours late. Yeah. But you guys don't know my stream schedule because you would have to look at the stream schedule to know it. That's been up there for the last 6 months. So, okay, so in this position, only these moves draw. Every other move I win because I get some kind of opposition. So obviously, if I was playing Farrugia, he would probably just resign here. But she played here. That's one of the drawing moves. Okay, and again, she has 2 drawing moves, which is pretty obvious. It's one of these 2. Okay, and she played one of them. Okay, now she only has 1 drawing move, and she has 5 legal moves. Again, it's obvious which one it is, I think. The idea is I want to win by going this way, and I want to win by going this way, and she has to be ready for both. So that when I play King C4, she plays King C6. When I play King G4, she plays King G6. And there's only one way to do that. And if my king is on G3 and she plays King F6, to get to G6, King H4 wins. And the same over here. Yeah. So, okay, so she played King E7. That's the only drawing move. Now every move draws. King anywhere on the D file draws. Thanks to Real Greg for the subscription. That means I missed something, because that has to be 3 things. The Ultimate Potzer subscribed. Is that what I missed? Oh, Potzeria subscribed. I missed that. Okay, 3 subs. Okay, so every king move draws. She played one of them in true. Okay, now every king move draws again, but she played the, Yeah, I'm not making it tough for her. It's sort of hard to make it tough for her when I play King E1 and she plays King E7. That's like the only hard position. Okay, and then draw. So after she traded rooks, here she has only 2 moves that draw. She played 1. Here she only has 2 moves that draw. She played 1. Here she has 2 moves that draw. She played 1. Here she has 1 move that draws, and she played the only move that draws. That's not good because, I'm not going to win if we get those positions again. So then I just sort of gave up. I'm like, all right. Yeah, if only I was playing Farrugia, I would have won. Now, some of you don't know. Some of you. Let's see. What do I do? Oh, I can just clear the board. Okay, so today, in Farrugia's game with Magnus, they got this position. Okay, and they had been moving their king around, F1, F2, they've been moving their king around for a while, and it was a draw. And it was Farrugia's move here, and he had 12 seconds there's an increment. And according to Magnus, and I believe it because I saw Farrugia do this before already, when Farrugia was playing Aronian and when Farrugia was playing Magnus, I saw video in the Armageddon, and Farrugia's pretty shaky, especially since he's 17. Well, he moves the pieces, they're all over the place. Pretty suspicious. Anyway, and Magnus was like, he was shaking so much, the king could have gone any square. Two Move Draw subscribe. Thank you. Cy Bradbury, 100 cent to dues. Xanth, 400 cent to dues. I'm trying to teach here. Stop it. Okay, so here, if it's not obvious to you which move draws, that's fine. However, it is obvious which move loses. Okay? Now, of these moves, the most obvious losing move is King C3. Because after King C5, that's it. That analysis over. White's a move, he's in Zugzwang, and he resigns. And that's what happened. He played King C3. I was asleep, so I mean, I'm glad I didn't see it live. I would have thought it was a mount. I would have thought, there was a relay error. And then King C5, and he resigned. Okay, the only drawing move is King D2. And the reason is, after King C5, obviously you want to play King C3. So there's only the only moves you could consider are King here, and King here. King here loses because I play King C6, and it's White's move. White's going to have to. White loses the opposition, obviously. And King C2 loses because I play King C6, and now White has to move. White doesn't want to move. Wherever White moves, when you move, I move, just like that. Yeah. So the drawing move is King D2, which for Farrugia should be really easy, because it's an opposition. If King here, if King here. I mean, it's the guy's 2770. All right. So instead, he played King C3, which obviously loses to that. I mean, you kidding me? And then he resigned. That was it. He played one move and he resigned. So Farrugia not as good as Nino Komariki and King of Pawn endings. Cy Bradbury gifted 3 months. Hooray. To North Dakota. What about South Dakota? More subscribed. More. Walkie TV subscribed. Yeah. No, you can't watch live anymore? What happened? Why can't you watch live anymore? What do you mean? Do I have to stream at a different time so you can watch? I am pretty hot. I turned the air up. I was really getting hot. Damn. No PRPB. Somebody translate into English. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. And then we're going to... New audio. Yeah, I don't care about that. All right, so now we're going to go to the game analysis thing, which is being cleaned up by trying to learn. Some of you mistakenly pasted your games into the general channel, which we have a channel called Game Analysis Request. It's been there for about 4 days, and it has like 1 million games. And when I look at the games, then I delete them. So I try to look at the games in order, but then some mod or some VIP or somebody who donated $100 says, look at my game. So I'm like, all right. And then somebody says, but I donated 45 cents. Why aren't you looking at my game? All right. So we're not going to do that anymore. There's going to be no complaining. I'm going to look at the games in order. I'm going to do what Trying to Learn says. And if you're not happy, then you're not happy. Donate more next time. I don't know. Become a mod. I don't know. Okay. Today's Thursday? Okay. I'm getting confused here. All right, Trying to Learn. What do I do? John Benton subscribed. Trying to Learn, several question marks. No, actually, the first game I was going to analyze, I know this sounds like a joke, but it's not. Ali Reza actually sent me the game in an email. And he said, can you look at this game on your stream? And I said, dude, King C3? I don't think so. If you play reasonably, we'll look at your game. We don't want to see any joke games on the stream. And he was like, sorry. Yeah. All right. Walkie TV, time isn't good. That's a good idea. Yeah, Farrugia didn't donate either. That was the other issue. Okay, so now this game, Meepex lost. Terrible. Okay, so this is on the channel game analysis request on my Discord. And this game was posted 2 days ago by Tier 1 Noob. And he's playing Meepex. Unfortunately, it looks like Meepex lost, so I'll have his opponent banned and his children's children for 3 months. Okay, paste. All right. And then, if I'm doing something wrong, then let me know. What's your name? Trying to learn, as opposed to trying not to learn. Something. Go, Ben. Go in order. Okay. Then Xanth gave some random amount of subs, a random amount of bits that I can't understand. The hype train's not doing very well, so let's get going here. Boo, boo. Ooh, 45 centimeters. Now I'll look at your game. Wow. Okay. All right, every game is a London because that's the way life is. Knight c6 is an unusual move. I wouldn't recommend it. Bishop e2 is very passive. Normally I like bishop b5 and c4 and queen here and Papa John's. Bishop e2 is not really fighting for an advantage. Knight h5 is legal, but now that you've played bishop g4, you got some other pieces here. Professor Butts gifted us up. Thank you. All right, we got a minute left on level 4. I'm not a fan of knight h5. That's all right. h3, I'm not a fan of that. Takes. Okay, so white's probably a little bit better. Bishop e7 is a little passive. Queen e2 is a nonsensical hanging your pawn. Now, in chess, in the opening, in queen pawn openings, the reason black plays knight c6 early, which is rare, like I play the Chigorin, Morozevich used to play the Chigorin, that's about it, is to put pressure on the d4 pawn. So when your opponent has a knight here and you have a pawn there, sometimes the knight's attacking it, sometimes the bishop's attacking it, sometimes the queen's attacking it. It's like in a Grunfeld. So queen e2, you don't see, are you kidding me? It's the only thing in your position that he's attacking. And still you won? Ridiculous. The Apollo Jordan subscribed, trying to learn 200 centidues. Neurononum 500 centidues, but it ended. No. 500 cent, yeah, so we almost got there, but a little too late. Emperor of Ice Cream, we needed your 1 cent a little earlier. 40 centidues, Doric the cat. All right, yeah, so queen e2 is a colossal mistake that only loses a pawn. That's the best kind of mistake. Okay, c5 is good. Knight takes is good. And black's just a pawn up. And has pretty good position too, I would say. No, I would have castled, but all right. That's fine. c4 is not a bad move. In fact, knight c2 runs into this, so it's probably good. 1999 from Raj. 1999 centidues, that's right. Rook a b1. I would be hard-pressed not to take that, because that's the worst pawn structure. Doubled pawns, isolated pawn, doubled and isolated. It's hard not... It doesn't matter, you're still winning. It's just hard for me not to take that. Okay, that just hangs a knight, and then you didn't take it. By the way, Trying to Learn cleaned up some of the games and only left the finest games. That's what he did. That's not a joke. And then these are the finest games. Here's a pawn, here's a knight. Nah, I don't want the knight. So white doesn't see bishop takes knight, and black doesn't see bishop takes knight. And we've talked about this on stream, basically every stream. that every chess book and every video and every chess teacher is too hard for you. Not you, everybody. They're talking about pawn structure and pawn breaks and white square weaknesses and potential passed pawns and king safety. And you guys are like, here's a queen, here's a knight, here's a rook. And your opponents are like, nah, I don't want that. That has nothing to do with what I was taught. I was taught about doubled pawns and isolated pawns. Free pieces, nobody told me that was good. I've never been so mad. You got to take free pieces. You have to. And this is 99% of chess for players under 1600. Is how many free pieces did you give away and how many free pieces did you capture? And if the answer is I gave no free pieces away ever, and every time my opponent blundered, I always punished them, then you're not under 1600. Then you're some other rating. Yeah. Every game is like, here's a rook, here's a queen, and the opponents don't take it. I'm like, come on. All right, so queen c5, that's still winning. b4. e5 is reasonable. Problem with e5 is it weakens this pawn considerably. So it's a risky idea. When you play here, this pawn's going to be weak forever. So that's a risky move. It's not terrible, it's just risky. Queen d2, but the f4 pawn. Yeah, okay. How did white win this game? Okay, so you got to take on e5. You can't just give your whole king side away. I saying that, but you still won. But all right, queen d2 is very bad. All right, so you gave away your whole king side. Now you're down 2 pawns, and your king is exposed. So goddamn, white's position is not good. Okay, then the 2 worst moves I've ever seen. Man, queen takes f7. Now black can play queen takes f7, and he played here, and then he took that. That's luckily defended, but black forgot it was defended. So this is double question mark. This is triple question mark. And then we have quadruple question mark with rook e2. I mean, basically, if Kangaroo was here, and he is, he would quote Zoidberg. I'll let Kangaroo quote Zoidberg here. That is correct. God damn, he just typed exclaim Zoidberg, and that was all he had to do. Yeah, your chess is bad, and you should feel bad. Okay, so queen takes, black just takes and wins, so that's a blunder. King h8's a blunder. Now, black is still better if he takes the queen, but he played here. All right, well, now white's doing pretty well. a4 is apropos of nothing. How could you possibly care about your a pawn when you're up a queen? Like, play rook f7 and mate him. What the hell? a4, man. There we go. All right, now in this position, you have to play rook g8, because now I have queen e5 check and mate. But instead he played here, and white's threatening rook h7, and queen takes rook. So he played here, hanging mate in 1. Good, good. All right, if Manmoth was here, he would be very angry that game was submitted. But I'm not. But I'm just saying Manmoth would be. He would say, you're wasting the GM's time and you guys hanging your queen. You know, he'd be really mad. Good thing he's not here. Otherwise, you'd be furious. The game analysis lacks some depth. That is correct. Yeah, that's because every move, both sides hang a piece. So if they stop doing that, then we could have some depth. But it's like he hung a piece, then he hung a piece, then he hung a piece. And you can't do that. Frankly, terrible. So what you need to do when you're playing chess is concentrate on what your opponent is threatening. Right? Because sometimes in chess, it's not your move, like when it's your opponent's move. Then you can look at all your pieces, there aren't that many, and see which ones are currently under attack. And then that's the ones you better watch it. And what a lot of people do, and when I say a lot of people, all of them, is when they play chess, they have no interest in what their opponent's doing, only what they're doing. So they make a lot of blunders as a consequence. I have Perrier, obviously, and I got a Venti Skinny Vanilla Latte with soy milk. Now, technically, it's not skinny because skinny means like 2% milk. Skinny has like a lot of connotations. It means no whipped cream. It means light cereal. Okay, but I need soy milk because I could have other kinds of milk, oat milk and coconut milk. There's like 4 kinds of milk there. But soy milk is the one that you want. Right, it looked like a 10-second game. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to Raj's game because, why not? And we'll delete this game from the earth. Scorch the earth. Man, you scorched the earth. Yeah, good Chappelle Show quote. Okay. I don't see any. There's so many games. What's wrong with you people? How could there be so many games? Also, I looked at this game, right? This one I think I looked at. Yeah, that game I looked at. Okay, I like deleting games. That's my favorite. Okay. And then I'm still trying to find Raj's game. There it is. I have a request. Okay, Raj, what color were you? What was the time control? Who are you? Who are you? Boot do. Okay, and then we'll get rid of the names, and then we'll. All right, what happened? 500 centidues. I'll pay you not to show my game. I showed you at the club years ago. You've seen it once. I had white correspondence. Okay, so how could it be years ago? We haven't been around that long. Raj correspondence. Damn it. I actually do know how to spell. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so Raj is white in a correspondence game. He said he showed me years ago. All right. Perfect so far. Better than perfect. Okay. I've had white in this position. Yeah, actually, e6, e5 was played against me in the 1999 U.S. Championship in Salt Lake City by Nick DeFermian. And that was one of my best wins. I really played well that game. 999. Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. My game. Thanks, Soviet Britain. Yeah, that was one of my best games. So if you want to go to the internet for your own edification and look up Feingold DeFermian Salt Lake City U.S. Championship 1999, don't look at other games, just that one. I played DeFermian like 5 times, so I have a good record against him. I've beaten him and I've never lost to him. I beat him in another game too. But that was a really nice clean win in this kind of variation. So this is already bad for black because black's playing a line which gives white an advantage and black's down a tempo. Black played e6 then e5. I mean, that don't make any sense. Okay, king h2 is not a move I would consider. With white, you want to play either f4 or b4. I would play b4 since f4 opens the bishop. So you want to play rook b1, a3, b4, Papa John's. Rook b1 is the engine move. You can also play bishop d2 to help play b4 later. King h2 doesn't lose, but I wouldn't play it. Bishop g5 is not a move I would play either. Black should probably play h6 here, but this is fine. a3 is good. b3 is good. b3 is an important move because if black plays a4, white can never advance his queenside without giving an isolated pawn because of the en passant rule. a4, b4 take en passant. So by playing b3, we sidestep that. Now if a4, you can play b4, and there is no en passant. So b3 is a good move. Okay, a4, normally white wants to play on the queen side, not black. So a4 sort of helps black because now black can shut down the queen side and he can try to draw the game by blocking it all up. Queen f8 is legal. These moves, I don't understand that move at all, but, you know, who am I? White's better because white has more space. White has a D pawn here. Black has a D pawn here. So black, you know, black can't really maneuver his pieces. And with all the pieces on the board, having the space advantage helps even more. For an analogous situation that you guys could understand, imagine you were in this room and it was just me. There'd be a lot of space. You'd be comfortable. You'd have a drink in your right hand, a drink in your left hand. Shattered and sundered, stormed at with drinks from Starbucks. I that had paid with stars. And if there were 40 people in this room, then we would be really mad because there wouldn't be room for 40. Okay, then we'd all get COVID, and then we'd have herd immunity, and then we'd be fine. That analogy was frankly ridiculous. Okay, so knight h2 is a good move. This is what I played against DeFermian. Again, Feingold DeFermian, U.S. Championship, Salt Lake City, 1999. He also blocked up the queen side like this, and I gave him the Fusta Vazoo. Now, the mistake that DeFermian made, which your opponent made in this position, pretty similar position I might add, was he took on f4 and my pawn started rolling. Problem is, if he doesn't take on f4, f5 and black can't move anything. Now during the game, it was suggested that if I had blocked it up with f5 later, DeFermian could run his king over here, but he never did that. Passed pawn, 99999. Okay, so takes, good for white. Knight a6, the knight on b4 is good, I agree. Okay, I don't like your next move. You played f5, which gives away the e5 square. The funny thing is, the first thing I think of when white plays f5 is how does black play knight e5? It's really hard to play knight e5, so f5 is probably pretty good. If black could play knight e5, I wouldn't be a fan of f5. You're giving the square away. But since you have knight here, bishop here, and you obviously have here, which I'm sure you saw. I'm sure you saw knight here, controlling e5. You're not really concerned about knight e5. It's impossible. If he does play it, you can kick his knight out. So f5 is better than he usually is. Okay, now he played knight b4. That's fine. Bishop b1's fine. g5 I think is forced. h4 I like. Open that notch up. Now if he plays h5, it could be too blocked up. So you played h5. I agree. And black is just too passive here. I mean, black just can't move. Okay, you played rook g1. This is very similar to my DeFermian game, except my pawn was here and I played e5 and I queened all my pawns. But it was similar. Okay, now I don't know if he resigned here or you stopped keeping score. I don't know what happened. The engine says you're up 3, so I guess he could resign. Now, more importantly, black just didn't move this game. Black was just too passive. This is a passive line for black. Now, although, yeah, it was weird to play rook here. Rook b to c8, that didn't make any sense. It was a mouse slip in a correspondence game. Now, the only move of note that you care about is bishop takes c3. You don't care about anything else. And the engine says every move wins. So that's unfortunate. It says rook e3 wins, king f3 wins, and knight h6 wins. And when I say wins, I'm like +8, +10, +12. The funniest way to win is king f3. Because then you got him 6 ways from Sunday here. Here's a funny variation. Takes, check, here, check, and then mate. I must say, Raj, I don't remember you showing me that game. I got no recollection of it. Yeah, and here black is just completely crushed. f6, here, rook is no good, etc. So very good game from Raj. That doesn't even make any sense. I've never said that sentence, so I'm sitting here confused. This seems more like Kasparov winning a simul game than Raj beating anybody ever. Not that Raj is a bad player, but he's not a good player. I mean, This guy is accusing you of using an engine, Raj. What's your opinion? Rex Eterna is like, you didn't play those moves. Those were engine moves. That's how well you played. He didn't believe it. He said he used one. Oh, human engine versus human engine. So let me ask you this question about your human engine. Here's my question. I got a question. I can't find it, so my question's not doing so well. Okay, this is human engine, and he played rook c8. Did his engine break? No engine in the world is playing rook c8 here. What's rook c8? What's that all about? What? What's rook c8? What kind of move is that? That's got nothing to do with nothing. What? Terrible. Yeah, Raj played really well that game, so I was confused. I didn't think it was engines, even though he said it was, because Black played rook c8 here. What's rook c8? What? Rook here? What's that got to do with anything? Terrible. Anyway, no wonder you won. Yeah. All right. It's the engine move, not a human engine. He thought, oh, I'm engine evaluated poorly. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. Also, another question about your engine is in this position, what engine is playing e6 then e5? Now, having said that, now Raj is married, okay? If Raj wasn't married, he'd have this pick of engines to marry because Raj loves the engine. Don't tell his wife. Raj loves the engine. Okay, now, in that stupid computer tournament they have every year, they made the engine do this, queen d7, which is a known line. Okay, they made Stockfish do it. And what happened was, later in the game, Stockfish played c5 and queen c7, just playing a Winawara tempo down. Like queen d7 to c7, instead of just queen c7. And he drew the game anyway. So yeah, the engine's like, this line's stupid. I'm going to transpose into another line where I'm a tempo down. So pretty similar to Raj's opponent's engine. E6, queen e7, e5. Very similar. Yeah. That's right. Now, I didn't use an engine, and I played in the U.S. Championship against Nick DeFermian, and I like that game so much, we're just going to look at that game. That'll teach you guys to come to my stream. My stream, do what I want. It's similar to that game, except I played better than Raj with no engine. Not sure how I did that. And then we're going to do a report of the game after the game and see how I played. All right, let's see. 1999, DeFermian, Dick Dispermian. Okay. Can't believe I found the game. Yeah, whenever you see a chess game, there has to be something in the game, something in the way he moves attracts me like no other engine. I don't want to resign now. The engine says plus 40,000. Dun, 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 dun. Go GM 99 cents. Okay. Now you will know my name is the Lord when you see me beat DeFermian. DeFermian's won the U.S. Chess Championship 3 or 4 times. I lost count after 2. DeFermian's been on the U.S. Olympic team many times. DeFermian's been top 10 in the U.S. probably between 1983 and 2003. Probably he was top 10 in the U.S. for almost all of those years. Now he's older than me. It never happened, but now he's older than me. No, he was always older than me. Okay, so here's my game with DeFermian from the 99 U.S. Championship. Look familiar? You hear me talking? I ain't through with you by damn sight. I'm going to get... Okay. Notice how he played E6, and then he played E5. Okay? Raj is like, how'd you play the exact same game as me and remember it 21 years later? Exactly. Now, he played E5 because I played rook E1, so now E5, my rook is sort of stupid here. You remember Raj played G3, F4. My rook should be on F1 for that. Okay, this position, Black made a mistake. He played knight D7 with the obvious intention of playing F5. But that was actually bad because I played Queen C2, stopping F5. It's very hard to play F5 now. Well, then why did he play knight D7? He played knight D7 to play F5. But I just stopped F5. Yeah, and now he looked like a bitch. Does he look like a bitch? He's tall. He's the former U.S. champion. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Never play F6. He played F6 to play rook F8, rook F7, queen F8, F5. Okay, and he did. Now, if he plays F5, knight G5 is annoying, so he played bishop H6. Now I played one of my favorite moves of the game, rook F1. Whoops, went back. That way my rook is on the correct file. Now I played knight here. My knight has E3. I took with the knight, so I can play G3, F4 like Raj. Just like Raj. H5 is a very bad move. Then the guy played A5, just like in your game, except your pawns were on A3 and B4, and I played B5. I figured since I was playing F4 for sure, I could play B5. Now, the other grandmasters in the tournament, when we analyzed the game, they thought Nick should run away here because the queen side is closed. Then he took on F4, which I'm not a fan of. I think that's good for white. King H2, knight F3, queen G2. Man, DeFermian, a brilliant attacking player, except for one thing. And Sarah once said after the game to me, Yasser said, I've seen Nick lose games before, but not like this, where he just couldn't move. Usually when Nick loses, he plays too aggressively and doesn't work out. Not he gets beat like a bitch, which is what happened this game. Played F5, which isn't good, etc. God damn. You hear me talking, hillbilly boy? He didn't do that. F4, knight D1, knight F2, rook G1. God damn. He plays for check. He checked me. See the check? Yay, he checked me. He's good. This was move 40, shorty, so we made the time control. Normally at move 40, black would resign here because we made the time control, so nobody's going to lose on time. We get extra time here. Now, this was 21 years ago, but I knew later in my life I would be streaming, and I would show this game, and I would sack the exchange. Always sack the exchange. Bam! Gotcha, bitch. He played king f6, hoping for takes. Then he loses the endgame a piece down. That was what he was hoping for. But I played here. That's right. I should get a donation for that. 1,000 centimeters. Thanks, Si. See, you guys make fun of me because I'm old and terrible, but I wasn't always old and terrible. I was always terrible, but I wasn't always old. 99, and this was played in August? This was in August. So I was 30. No, I was 29. I was 30 next month. Yeah. Damn. Nah, used to be terrible. Used to be old too. I don't get it. Exactly. Okay, then he resigned. All right, let's see how I played that game. I don't know how I played that game, but I think I played pretty damn good. But I don't know. Maybe the engine's going to say I suck. I don't know. Let's see. Don't say I suck. Can I bribe the engine before it analyzes it? Is there a bribing method so it says I played in the high 90s? No, 20%. Boo, boo. I played pretty damn good that game. It better give me 97 minimum. Minimum. Less than 97, I'm going to break my computer Naroditsky style. 97.4. That's acceptable. He played 81.7. 0 missed wins, 0 blunders, 0 mistakes. I played 23 best moves. He played 13 best moves. That's acceptable. 97.4 is acceptable. I thought I played better than that. Yeah, but Raj's game reminded me of that. Raj probably played better than 97.4 with the help of the engine. The view's not messed up. I was looking at it and I didn't care if you guys could see it. I'd have to change what I'm doing to make the view correct. And then I'm doing it for like 5 seconds. 97.4 is good when your opponents won the U.S. championship several times. That makes it harder to play well, because they play well too. As John134 has pointed out, your accuracy is better against weak players than strong players. That's right. Yeah, that's correct. Nick didn't know what hit him. In the 87 World Series, I think it was 87, there were 3 players left, Johnny Chan, Doofus, and Bob Schiaffoni. Bob Schiaffoni was the chip leader, and they went all in, him and Chan. If Schiaffoni had won the hand, he would have won the World Series instead of Chan. But Chan won the hand. That was the first $1 million pot in World Series history. That's how few players there were. Then the next hand, all in again, Schiaffoni and Chan. That was the second $1 million pot in World Series history. Chan won again. And he won the event because he beat the other guy. And Schiaffoni won $125,000 for third. The truth hurts. 1,000 centidues. Thanks, Cy. COVID. All right, let's see if my mom's still alive. I'll be with you guys in a second. Okay. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's nothing. Talk amongst yourselves, but don't talk. That's right. Okay, so thanks for showing that game, Raj, because that reminded me of this game. Here's why it reminded me of the game. I'll tell you why. Similar opening. My opponent played e6, e5 like yours. I played rook b1, a3, b4 like you tried to do, although you didn't. And I played g3, king g2, f4 like you did. I mean, a lot of similarities. Obviously different, but Your opponent didn't play h5. You played f5 and I played e5. Pawn structure here was a little different, but it really reminded me of that game because you won pretty easily and so did I. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is that was the only game that I won. It was 7 rounds. I drew Saruman in round 1. I won this game, I don't remember when. Round 6, I think. I drew Jinjahashvili round 4, round 3. I lost to Benjamin. Wait, did I play Benjamin? Yes. Lost to Benjamin. I lost to Alexander Ivanov. I lost to Serper. And I lost to Kaidanov. And the game I lost to Serper, I did hours of prep. And one of the lines I looked at, I found a novelty like on move 28 in a game that he had won earlier. So that ended up happening. And then on move, 19, 20, he played another move than what he played in the previous game. And he crushed me. And I was like, damn, he prepared a novelty before my novelty. And I asked him, he says, oh yeah, I forgot what I played in that game. Is this what I played? He couldn't remember his other game. He's like, oh, that's right, I played that. And the move that he played at the board was better than his previous game. God damn it. Court Monson subscribed. Terrible. Yeah. Let's see. It's all about draw by agreement. That's correct. It's chess with Ovi. All right, let's see who's next. Let's get rid of whatever we're getting rid of. Makes sense. I don't even see it. I don't see the game that I just did. So, all right. Oh, here it is. You're so next. All right, we'll do it the trying to learn way. Engine says knight df3 was inelegant. Did I look at this game already? I don't know. All your games are the same London system, so they all look the same to me. No, this game has a very funny ending, so you guys will like it. It's from MJ6 Robinson. I don't know if that person's here or not, but if they're not, they can watch later. Let's see, MJ, and then LeBron, I guess. I don't know. Okay. So finally we're going to see who's better, MJ or LeBron. I mean, it's probably LeBron, but, I'm old, so it's MJ. Yeah. Also, I like Bill Russell. That's really old. Okay, so typical, C3's not the most accurate move, but all right, it's fine. H6 is just a bad move. It just loses a tempo. C4 is okay here, but Queen C2 is very strange in the London. That's not where the queen goes. After C4, you want to play Bishop C2 and stay on this diagonal. You don't want to go here. So Knight BD2 would make more sense. Queen C2 is weird. Knight E5 is a good move also. Okay, now there was some total craziness. Now the guy who posted the game on Discord, he said his engine didn't like this move. He doesn't know why. That move's fine. It gives away E4. E4 is a key square. And he's just like, nah, you can have it. So I guess that's why he doesn't like it so much. Okay, Knight H5 doesn't make any sense because the knight can go to E4. If you want to take the bishop, you could go to E4. All right, Knight H5 is okay, but Knight E4 is just, black's fine. Okay, takes. Now, black blundered, losing the game immediately, but it's really cool for you guys. It's sort of exciting. So 99 times out of 100, as was said in Inglourious Bastards, you just recapture. But that one time, okay, so you should just recapture and it's equal position. But he played this blunder, losing the game immediately. The game's over now. So material's equal because white took and black took. The only move you're afraid of is knight takes rook. I mean, if you trade the knights, that's nothing to be scared of. But if a guy takes your rook, that is something to be scared of. And obviously, if you don't take the rook, then white's up material. So the engine plays knight e4, saving the knight. It wins white's knight on f8, and white's up the exchange. But obviously that wasn't black's intention. Black was like, we take each other's rooks, and that's just unfortunate. Now what's funny about this is, if white doesn't have the simple winning continuation, then black's actually better here. So black just missed check and then mate. He probably saw check, but saw the knight was hanging and didn't realize. So that was the game. The game was decided in this position. He didn't take the knight back. He played here, and then he continued on with his folly. Instead of moving the knight and winning this knight, he fell on his sword. So that was pretty cool. I like that game. Well, I'm not teaching the London. Every game is the London. And you got to play a lot of different openings and have a lot of ideas to get better at chess. If you play the London 99% of the time, then you're just going to end up like Magnus. I mean, terrible. Or Kamsky. Come on, what's wrong with you? But yeah, I mean, Queen C2 is not, you can't, I mean, that's not. And he ended up doing this mate, so that was good. Yeah. It's not clear which one MJ is. Nobody knows. Yeah, LeBron should stick to basketball. He hung mate. MJ is the greatest. Exactly. It actually is Michael Jackson, but he told me not to tell you guys. And he told me, he thought this was an interesting game. And I said, were you black or white? And he said, it doesn't matter. All right, next game. It don't matter if you're black or white. 15-10 game. I was black. Couldn't figure out how to proceed. I was worried. I should have worried about other stuff. I'm not sure if this copy and paste will work, but we're going to try it. Trying is the first step to failure. It did work. And again, these games were put up a few days ago. So this is a 15-minute game with a 10-second increment, and it says 1490s. I'm not sure if black was 1490s or white was. I don't know. It didn't really indicate that. And it's from Mr. Connick. So he was black. So Connick. And then we'll say that white was, I don't know, the Chronic. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right. Because I got high. All right. Now, Mr. Iconic. That is correct. Okay, so black is the one who sent the game in, and he's like, what did I do wrong? Wah. All right. French defense. First thing he did wrong. Bishop d3 is a weird variation, but it's playable. Just weird. Okay, this is good. Everything's good. 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 Every move perfect. I wouldn't play knight e5. I'd probably just take the knight. But knight e5 is okay. Okay, the engine says knight e5 is good. All right, bishop e2 definitely. Now you could play knight d5 and harass this bishop. I'm not sure where the bishop goes. Somewhere bad. But okay, he played solid. That's good. Good, good. c4 is good. b6 is good. Bishop b7 is good. I prefer black here, slightly. Rook c8 is good. Probably queen c7 is better, or queen b8. Play rook d8 right away. But quick c8 is okay. e3 is okay. Yeah, now you definitely should play queen c7, rook d8, and then probably put your queen on a8. Black's just better here. Ilya Gurevich, world junior champion, American from the 80s and 90s you've never heard of. He quit chess in the 90s. He said 4-2 is better than 3-3. He didn't say why it was better. He just said it was, and he's right. I agree. Probably because black has a center pawn and white doesn't. But somehow it's a better pawn structure. So here black's better. because these bishops are shallow and pedantic. These bishops are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, black's pieces are just better. This knight's good. This diagonal's good. It's hard to kick this knight out. So black's better here. A6 is good. I don't like queen c2 at all. I don't line up the queen with the rook. I don't like that. Bishop c5 is okay. Rook d1 is good. Queen c7 is good. a4 is positionally very bad, giving up the dark squares. Rook d8's good. And black's playing great this game. I have no qualms with black's play. I like knight g6 because the knight has f4. The knights protect all these squares. I really like the way black's playing. Black's playing like me. No wonder he lost. Bishop d6 is good. These pawns are all weak now. a5. Okay. Taking is good. Knight h4 is good. Knight h4 threatens this. Good. Always play bishop f1. Good. Okay, now black made his first mistake of the game. Black should just take the pawn on a5. And then black's better. Much better. Because he's ruining white's pawn structure. So after b takes a5, black is just better. If white tries to play the Zwischenzug c5, I can check and then take the b pawn. I'm a pawn up. But yeah, after taking here, black is just better. But e5, that blocks your two pieces, weakens the f5 square, and now the engine says black is losing. The game's over. One bad move. The reason is the bishop is on this pawn. So if white could play bishop takes pawn, obviously he's winning. And you gave up the f5 square, always play knight f5. Although he took that, which is also winning. Knight f5 is even better. That threatens bishop b6, a takes b6, and knight takes h4. And the engine just says that white's winning here. Plus 2.3. Now taking this is also winning. So this e5 was just a terrible, terrible blunder. You had to take this pawn on a5. Then you were better. Much better. This is a blunder. Yeah, and queen takes is actually a blunder. Knight f5 wins everything. Knight f5. You have to move your queen somewhere else and just be down a pawn with no compensation. So basically this whole game was decided by e5, and after taking this you're losing, and by putting your queen here and lining it up with the bishop, you're asking for trouble. Discovered everything. So you needed to deal with a5 and you didn't. You played some other move and then you got crushed. Now this is attacked, Papa John's. Okay, then you went crazy like Fox News. All right, then you play queen d7. God damn. Falling on your sword. All right. So the game basically was black played better than white. Then black played e5 question mark. Queen takes b6 double question mark, resigns. Two bad moves in a row. You had to take on a5, then you were all set. Frankly, unfortunate. It's hard to beat the Chronic. It's hard. The Chronic can beat you. But that is correct. All right, so we get rid of that game. That game was posted about 3 days ago. Get rid of this. Delete everything. All right, this says Japan Chess Classic 2019. 1300 versus 1100. 90-minute, 30-second classical time control. My second time playing the London. All right. And those are the names of the players. I don't understand. I copied and pasted it. And it says Truder, but it says Chris Truder and it didn't put Chris. I don't know why it didn't. That's weird. It put this guy, all this guy's names. All right. I copied and pasted it. How did it just not copy that? That's weird. All right. I think I know why. I think it put it on one line and it was too long, so I cut some of it off. I don't know. White is the guy who sent the game in. Vincent Adolfo. Vincent from Pulp Fiction, I assume. I crushed him. He lost his name. That is correct. It's you. Okay. You put you're up trying to learn. It should be you are up. So it should be apostrophe RE. So you're banned trying to learn. You're banned. Not your band, you are banned. Just so you know. Otherwise, yeah. That's right. Jan Michael Vincent Adolfo is correct. Right. Well, there's only enough room for 8 Jan Michael Vincent Adolfos. Otherwise, we have to go to court. And the last time we went to court, they ruled against us. We wanted to have more than 8, but they said no, per quadrant. So we just couldn't do it. Wait, is it important to know who Jan Michael Vincent is to find this funny? No. Yeah, one time, this guy from Bosnia and Herzegovina, he was walking in trash talking, and then he was scared to find out his opponent was from Trinidad and Tobago. He's like, oh, no, terrible. Chris didn't pop up. What? Okay, so the guy with white sent the game in. It's a Dutch. It's a double Dutch, except for the double Dutch part. All right, very boring. Good. White slightly better. Queen B3 is a little aggressive. D5 is okay. All right, now we have a stone wall. Both players are stoned. Knight C6 is unusual, but I'll accept it. All right, you can't play Knight A5, although the guy with black isn't here. This is a typical low-rated player's move. Yay, I attacked the queen. Your knight's terrible on A5. So black should play Knight E4 or Knight E5, or you could go to Papa John's, but if the game was played in Japan, probably can't go to Papa John's. Although maybe. Okay. Your Knight A5 is bad. Why is the knight on A5? Boo. Bishop D6, that's legal. Good. He went back to C6. Put it in H. It's 2020. H4. A move I would never think of unless I was playing 1 minute. Then I would play it. That's legal. That's legal. They're all legal. Yeah, the problem with the stone wall is this bishop isn't very good. That's always the problem. Okay, now black played a move I would never consider here. H5. God damn. Yeah, your king is here. Don't play H5. No. All right. H5 is so bad that it makes F3 look good. F3 is good. Yeah, because H5 was played. God damn. Now we can attack later. Okay, long castle is what I would play. Okay, good. White's playing like Queen B6. What's the point of that? Why is the queen on B6? Is the queen going to attack the white king? Ish don't think so. So since you're getting mated over here, might want to have your queen defend a little bit. So if you want to attack the king, you got to push all these pawns. Pandemonium. Then you can move your queen over there if things work out. But yeah, H5, god damn. You're getting checkmated. Okay, Queen B6, that's terrible. G4 is good. Bishop E5 is good. Knight D7 is good. Always repeat, good. Queen B1? Man, this guy really wanted to prepare for C4. I mean, C4, move your bishop. And then there's, terrible. Queen B1. That's not a good move. That's way too slow. Okay, CD4. That's not great, but it's okay. Knight F6 is also not good. Black should play E5 and go crazy because white's king is getting a little bit open. For example, E5 takes D4. Try to get at that king. Trying is the first step to failure. All right, Knight F6, Rook E1. Still good first. Bishop takes F6. This is the best bishop in the history of chess. So white's idea of, let me trade it off for that knight. What? Look at this bishop. God damn. This knight, it can't go Vishwa nowhere. Why would you take that knight? This knight can't go anywhere. Yeah, bishop takes is really bad. You would never give up this bishop for this knight. No. Now the engine doesn't even like white anymore. Plays the Gazwishenzug. Good. Excellent. And now the game's equal. 1,000 centidues. Man, white played like 7,000 bishop moves, then traded for this knight that couldn't do anything. All right, queen c1. The ending's about equal, but black played queen g3 Marshall style. Terrible. Letting the queen come in here. Queen's getting harassed. Open G line. Boo. Weeble is subscribed. Hooray. Boo. Bam. Gotcha, H-pawn. Always play bishop f1. No wonder white won. White's playing pretty well now. Pretty good. White's up a pawn. White's got a passed pawn. Papa John's. Wow, rook g6, complicated. Good move. Nah, I went too far. I clicked the wrong thing. Sorry. Okay, rook g7 is good. Rook h4 is good. Queen g3 is good. Rook h1 is legal. Okay, then he blundered there. Time for some blundering. The bishop is actually needed to defend this pawn. So after bishop takes, which is a blunder, bishop takes, now black's winning. Black checks, and the rook is hanging. So bishop takes b5 is a blunder, which was not punished. See, this bishop is pinned, but after here, now the bishop's not pinned because this is check. And then we take the rook, and black is winning. So bishop takes b5 was a blunder. Black played queen there. And now white's winning again. Oh well. Easy come, easy go. Now the game's equal. White should have played rook h3 winning. The only winning move. There's no way he's going to find that. Now it's equal. This should be a draw. Let's see. Doesn't like the move. See, here's why it's a draw. Some of you are like, well, wait a minute. White's up a pawn. Black has doubled F pawns. Black has an isolated A pawn. Black's bishop sucks. Why isn't white winning? And the answer is right here. This is where the answer changes. The queen is stuck defending the rook. The rook can't move, and the queen can't move. So black just does nothing, and it's a draw. Move your queen back and forth, move your rook back and forth, and these pieces can't move, which is weird, I must say. That is weird, but it's true. You can't move these pieces. And black is like, all right, here, go move your pieces. 1,000 centidues, frankly, and white's like, oh, man, great. Now I can move my rook, and I'll be winning. So that was a terrible blunder. And this is why rook h3 was winning here, because after rook takes rook, pawn takes rook, the queen and the rook can move away on the g file. The pawn on g2 stops the queen from moving on the g file. But if I take with the pawn, then my queen can move, my rook can move, and I can win. Now king e7, finally we can move, and black makes it really easy with rook g8. Now it's an easy win because black is a pawn down, black's bishop is bad, double pawns, isolated pawn. Now it's just technical. Queen b1's a little passive. I like b4. Bam! Gotcha, bitch. All right. And then he won. There's no stalemate. There's never a stalemate because the king can go here. So the queen has to be here to stop the pawn from moving. So black resigned. But that's a very, very strange situation that they got themselves in this position, that these pieces can't move. That's really weird. Almost never see anything like it. They can never move. And then black played king e7, and then black traded rooks, and then white won easily. But yeah, if the pieces can't move, you ain't going to win. Probably I would take black here in a grandmaster game, because I like when my pieces can move. Like this queen can move all around the board. But these pieces can't move. That means you might lose. But the engine says it's equal. But I wouldn't be surprised if the engine said black was winning because these pieces can't move. But yeah, now white's just winning because white's up a pawn for nothing and everything can move. And he actually correctly advanced on the majority side and Papa John's. By not eating Papa John's, he was able to win. Let's see. This can't be good. All right. That's not bad. All right. Truth hurts. Yeah. Let's see. Blah, blah. Yeah, they should either sponsor me or sue me. It's not clear. It's sort of like Jared. Is Jared helping Subway or did they sue him? I mean, he's in jail now, I guess. Is Jared still in jail? Let me see. I wonder if he's still in jail. Jared, Subway, jail. Truth hurts. Jared sentenced to 15 years in prison, and I can't even say why on the stream. God damn. He arrives at federal prison in 2015 in Indianapolis. So he's still in prison. He will be on supervised release. Oh. He's still in federal prison. He won't be eligible for release till 2028. God damn. The judge said, the fact that you work for Subway, I'm adding on 3 years to your sentence. Damn. Tough. Harsh. Yeah. Jared from Subway. He's the ugly guy who said, I used to be fat, but now I'm thin because I ate at Subway. Then he went to prison for 15 years. God damn. Federal prison. Man, I don't know what's worse, federal prison or Indianapolis. Man, that's the double whammy. Indiana and federal prison. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the guy from the commercial. Yeah. No, not Jared Kushner. That's give me a couple of years. The Jared from Subway. Yeah. That's right. It wasn't considered bread in Ireland or whoever that joke was. It wasn't a joke. Okay. How do I get rid of that? Delete. Okay, you guys were 1,300 and 1,100. So that's pretty good, I think. Yeah. I was white in a 5-minute game. 1892 versus 2215. And your name's Kearney. Although I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But that's okay. Kearney. So let's see here. Kearney 1892 versus 2215. And this is a 5-minute game. And Kearney suggested that he's the one who put the game in. And again, this is all from 2 or 3 days ago. This is actually from 2 days ago. No, this is from yesterday. Yesterday, all your PGN seems so far away. Now I need a place to hide away. I can't stand looking at your games. Suddenly, there's a lot of good moves more than there used to be. I'm going to have to drive 12 hours after this stream. Oh, yesterday, etc., etc. All right. Imagine blah, 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 blah. Yeah. By the way, you guys don't remember this. Some of you will. Subway was sued a few years ago because their foot long isn't a foot long. So they wanted refunds and lying and stuff. It was like 11 inches or something. And Subway said, that's the name of the sandwich. It doesn't indicate how long the sandwich is. That was their defense. I don't know what the ruling was. I think they ruled that the sandwich was terrible and everybody had to go to some other restaurant. I think that was the ruling. Yeah. I'm not making that up. That's true. Yeah, see, Skirg is like, they weren't footlongs. Damn it. Yeah. Yeah. Subway is good. What? But it's not a foot long. I'm mad. Yeah. I'm driving 12 hours to visit sick family people. Yay, true romance. Go Cy Bradbury. I can't quote True Romance on the stream because I'll get banned. But you know what I want to quote? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Sicilian. My dad was the world heavyweight champion of Sicilian liars. Yeah. Oh man, T3H Fitz. Okay, I'm going to tell you the whole scene that he's referencing. Marge and Homer go to all-you-can-eat seafood place, and eventually they kick Homer out. And they go to court because he didn't have all-you-can-eat, and it's an all-you-can-eat seafood place. Okay, so Marge is on the stand, and they go, Mrs. Simpson, when the place kicked you and your husband out, then what happened? And Marge says, we drove straight home. Mrs. Simpson, may I remind you, you're under oath. And then she starts crying while she tells the truth. We drove around for hours looking for another all-you-could-eat seafood place. And when you couldn't find one, and she's crying, we went fishing. A great testimony. Then one of the guys on the jury said, that could be me. Then the other side was getting nervous. They had to settle out of court because it wasn't looking good. Man, when she's crying about how we drove all night, that was great. And so forth. Can you make me a mod on Discord? No. Boo. Go Kingfisher 88. Yeah. Why don't you fly to Detroit? COVID. If I flew to Detroit, I'd probably get there later. Like, I can't get a flight tonight at 6:30. I could probably get a flight in the morning and pay $1 million. And if I drive tonight, I'll get there earlier. I'll have my car with me. So it'll be cheaper to drive, and I'll get there quicker. And I won't get COVID. I mean, I might get COVID, but, COVID. Let's see. Chowda. That's a different episode. All right. No flying during COVID. Okay, so Kearney. It's Kearney. Okay, still Theory. Yeah, today I think Aronian played Bishop G5 against Atari. This position. This is what I play. This is what I play with black all the time. I wouldn't recommend F6 because it's F6, but he wanted to. I don't play F6 on this line. I don't play F6 E5. I play E6 castles, King H8, Rook G8, and mate down the G file. As in the game Rex Singfield Ben Feingold 2011 or 12, I don't know. F6 I assume is bad. Yeah, the engine says F6 loses by force. God damn. Now it says Knight H4 is strong, attacking the pawn, and also Queen H5 check. So it really hates black's position now because his bishop is blocked forever. So F6 from a 2200, pretty suspicious. The only thing worse is Farrugia's play today, the king and pawn ending. Okay, E5, always retreat. Yeah, this is still good for white. This center is going to fall apart. Yeah, the engine's not a fan of that move. That's what I would play. That's probably why it's not a fan of it. Here, black should definitely take this and then play like bishop h6, maybe e4, f4. King h8 is what I would play. Players are playing like me, so that's good. Queen f7. Knight takes is just a blunder, losing the game. Queen e7? I'm looking at the game further ahead. Knight takes e4 is just a bad move. And after knight g5, we can play queen f2 and we're winning. Knight d2 is better than knight g5 because the knight's like almost trapped on g5. So black can play queen takes pawn check, king h1, queen f6. Black's up a pawn, has the monster center, and the knight's attacked. Not playing queen takes f2 is really weird. The guy's 2200. I mean, you couldn't make me, even if it lost, I would play it. Because it's, that's the move you want to play. But he played queen e7. He must have thought the knight was trapped. So he probably thought, I don't want that pawn, I want to trap the knight. JAA gifted 10 subs. JAA928, thank you, sir. Time for another train. Okay, and now white's better after h4 because the engine says so. Then the knight can escape, and the d pawn is going to fall. The d pawn falls, Then the e-pawn falls. So after h4, white's better. White sacked a piece. Slightly unsoundly, but only slightly. You guys can't resist sacking a piece. You guys love sacking a piece. So he had to do it. And he destroys black's center, so white's position's okay. Queen e7, a really bad move. Okay, that's a bad move because it just runs into this. So that's bad. Yeah, now white's better because these pieces are terrible. This piece is terrible. So it was better for white. You probably don't want to trade queens. You could just play here. Then if black trades queens, both of your rooks are active. So this is a strange move, but it's okay. Yeah, you should have played rook d7 here. Then you can't play rook f7, so your rook would just be on d7. Now, since the king's on g6, I can oppose rooks. So now it's equal. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you take that and let his rook go to the 7th? It's time to get this rook active. Rook here, doesn't matter. Rook takes rook doesn't make any sense. Now this rook's great. Rook b8's forced. And this should be a draw. This is a drawn position. f4 is interesting. e4 just a one-move blunder. I mean, the bishop and the rook are lined up. So obviously, if this pawn's gone, you take the rook. In this position, after rook b8, black would never play e4 hanging his rook. After here, he does play e4 hanging his rook. So the engine actually prefers black after takes and bishop e5. But after here, you just f5 check. King f2? I just assumed you played f5 check and won. f5 check, bishop takes rook. And actually, you did it next move. Black lets you do it again. Black should play rook d8 here. Then if you take, he has some counterplay. All right, knight a5 is crazy. Now he has a choice. Take the rook or take the knight. Or take the bishop. God damn, knight a5 is a bad move. Jesus. Knight a5 triple question mark. How do you not see like the only check in the position and it wins all your pieces? What's going on here? That's funny. This is attacked and this is attacked. And obviously black can try to save both, but I don't think black would have the wherewithal to do that based on previous play. Black should move his king somewhere like here or here so the rook doesn't check and fork. Right, he just allows the check because he doesn't, he can't, yeah. And instead of this winning, he plays bishop takes a7. Also winning. All right. And the rest is technique and then some. Mainly and then some. It's a lot of passed pawns. I don't understand h4. It's just hanging the h-pawn. All right. Black's like, yeah, whatever. Check. And he doesn't play king e3. If you're in check and your bishop's hanging, why wouldn't you defend your bishop? Why would you go here? I guess they're in time trouble. I don't know. Like, really bad time trouble. Must be a lot of pre-moving. All right. I like in this position, instead of playing rook here, instead of playing rook check and mate, you played rook c7, and then you mated the other way. That's good. Showing dominance. All right. All right, a very suspicious game with lots of tactical errors, but that's the games we like to see. Some strategical errors also, but mainly tactical errors. All pre-moves? All right. That's right. 1,300 players are great. I guess it was 5 minute. Yeah. I make a lot of mistakes too, but, hanging f5 check, losing your rook, like every move is not good. Terrible. Mainly errors. No, his name was 2215. His actual rating was 300. All right. Let's hope everybody's alive. All right. Niche of Death. Damn, I didn't want to see the word death in my stream tonight. Gifted 5 subs. Thank you. Okay, back to whatever it is I was doing. I was white, 15 plus 10 minute. Okay. If you say so. And then, bam. And then the guy's name is Khoja. So, Khoja, and this guy's name was Opponent. I thought it was Opponent, but then I spelled it wrong. 15 plus 10. All right, back to whatever it is I was doing. Go Knish of Death. Go Knish. Let's see. Colts number 1. How about that? Gifted 5 11.8-inch subs. That's correct. Now, when you say 11.8 inches, now let me get this straight. This is serious. There's 12 inches in a foot, I think. And so was it 8 out of 12 or 0.8 like 80%? So if it was like 11.8 out of 12, like 11.912, that's pretty close. But if it's 8/12 of an inch, that's not as close. If you see what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Still not a foot. That's right. Almost 12. Yeah. But not quite. Man, I wonder what happened with the lawsuit. Yeah. As in percent. What? That's not helping me. Okay, so this game was submitted 15-minute game. Don't know the ratings of the players. Players are pretty good so far. Bishop takes c3 is nonsensical. Knight's pinned. So you wouldn't take a pinned knight. That's strange. All right, so white's better. He's got the 2 bishops. Probably most grandmasters would play knight e2 or rook b1, getting the open file. Knight f3 is okay. Wow, c4. Yeah, I don't think anybody would play c4. If you're going to play c4, you should play with your bishop on f1 at least, so you don't lose the tempo. Yeah, c4 I'm not a fan of. White had a better structure, just keep this pawn here. All right, check is okay, this is okay, and this ending should be a draw. Knight b6 is okay. Knight e5 is better. Knight e4 check is better. Knight b6, I don't like the knight on b6 so much. Bishop d3 is probably better, stopping knight e4 check. All right, that move, I would definitely take that, and black has the worst pawn structure ever. But he didn't do it. He played here. All right. He keeps letting him do it, and he keeps not doing it. Forcing his opponents to play f3. Rawr. All right, finally, white gave in. Yeah, this pawn structure is not good for black. The black obviously didn't mind. He let white do it every move. But knife f5. Yeah, this is really, really bad pawn structure. You always want to put your knight in front of doubled isolated pawns. It's beautiful. Okay, king's bad on h7. Rook d6 is a really good move. That's like a cheating move. That's how good it is. Excellent move. Rook takes f6, showing he's not cheating because the engine likes to double the rooks. Good. Knight d7 is good. You have to sack the exchange now because you trapped your rook. But white's better here because white has 4 pawns to 1 on the king's side. This isn't very dangerous. That hasn't moved. But I got a lot of pawns over here. And also I'm down the exchange. I like that. Okay, knight e5, forcing the bishop to a safe square. Good. Definitely should play here. You got to get rooks on both open files. This isn't going to work playing rook here and trying to come in here because I always have knight d4. So rook c1 is good. Knight d4 is good. Knight c6 is good. You got to get that counterplay. I agree. I definitely would have played rook d2 check before I took here. I got to get my rook in here. I got to get counterplay. Yeah. Here I wouldn't let him play rook d2. I would play rook c2. But the engine also says f4. So after check, I have king f3, which is also good. I definitely wouldn't play rook takes c6. Stopping these rooks from becoming active is really important. And also getting your 4-1 majority is important. f4, push these pawns. Rook takes c6 lets the rook come down here. Now white's not winning. Okay, now black definitely has to double on the 7th rank. There's no square for these rooks except b2. That's the only square. So rook b2 is the move. If black plays double on the 7th rank, black's better. So after rook b2, white has to play rook c2. Then rook d2 anyway. Trade rooks, either way doesn't matter. And this should be a draw, because even though white has 3 extra pawns, white's king can't get off the back rank. So the engine says white's better, but I would think a draw is more likely the result. If white takes 700,000 moves to get his king off the back row, somehow, eventually black could play like rook b4, a4, and black has winning chances. If my king is over here, I could play rook here, a4, a3, rook here. And you got to watch it. So this should be a draw. I'd rather have white, but yeah, he didn't do that. He didn't play. He played rook e8. Terrible. And then he made horrible, horrible blunder. White squared bishop. Put your pieces on dark squares. King h8. Black's still in the game. You can't go here because of this. You just missed that. One move blunder. Probably time trouble. But yeah, you can't put your pieces lined up on white squares when opponent has a white squared bishop. So after this, he had to resign. So yeah, black had chances there to draw, but not after king g6. Even after all the ups and downs and slings and arrows of outrageous fortune and taking arms against a sea of passed pawns, and by opposing rooks end them, the game ended in a one-move blunder, etc. This is money game. That's right, self as it is. Yeah. Yeah, you put your knight in front of double pawns, double isolated pawns. Then your knight just stays there forever. Forever, ever? Yeah. Now, for more information on Subway's foot long not being a foot long, watch the movie Casino. And when he's having a muffin, a blueberry muffin, Robert De Niro gets mad because there's more blueberries in one muffin than the other. And he goes in the kitchen and he explains there must be exactly the same number of blueberries in every muffin, confusing the chef. Based on a true story. Blueberries? What did I say? Well, whatever I said, blueberries is correct. Petrosian, Danya? You spelled Petrosian wrong. I didn't know they played. No, I knew they played. I don't know what happened in the match, so I don't know what I think of it. Who won the Pampers? Man, Abe Froman, I got really bad news for you. Now, if you're kidding, then it's fine. But if you're not kidding, this is the worst moment of your life. It shows you what kind of life you've led. I hope you're kidding. I'm not streaming the next 4 days. Which I've announced on my stream every day for the last week. But, yeah. But hopefully you're kidding. I hope. Damn. I'll probably stream Monday night, probably. Which wasn't the case 7 hours ago. So, yeah. Well, let's see. Do you know how long that would take? Pam saw the movie. That is correct. Yeah. I have a book on Amazon. It sounds made up. Have I played Tigran Petrosian before? I don't think so. Maybe you played online. Was he sipping on gin and juice? All right. Get rid of that. Delete messages. Angry at myself for draw as black. 1261 white, 1244 black. Termination, games drawn by reputation. Wow, you guys have a big reputation, I guess. Big money, big money, big money. No whammy, stop. Gotta go back to the stream. 1999 from the Conic. Yay, go Mr. Conic. You beat the Chronic. Or wait, you lost to the Chronic. I don't know. Hard to beat the Chronic. Okay, and this is 1261, 1244, Bugros. Those are their ratings. And he said he was mad that he drew. Angry. Never been so angry, he said. And he said he's always a little bit angry. So he was really angry. Also, he hadn't eaten that day, so he was hangry. Tigran didn't look away like he did. Damn. Shocking. What was the score of the match? Anybody? I mean, not knowing anything about the match, I would assume he'd win like 20-14, if that's how many games there were. I'm making up the number of games. 20-14 sounds about right. So what was the score? Somebody tell me. Anybody? I think Daniel won. What? Come on. I want the score. I'm randomly guessing the score. I want to be exactly right. Yeah, I'm talking about Daniel Tigran today. What was the final score? I can't even get like a confirmation that somebody won. They're like, I think Daniel won. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, one of the match rules was if anybody won one of the portions with a perfect score, the 5 minute, the 3 minute, the 1 minute, if you win that portion with a perfect score, which, I mean, obviously is not going to happen, if you win a lifetime supply of Pampers. So that was nice. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, back to this game. Black submitted it. He was mad that it was a draw. Usually taking is the point of e5. You always take that. That's why you played e5. Okay, still theory. A little boring. Pretty boring. All right, everybody trades everything. Nobody has the advantage. Knight a7? What? All right, so far the game is really boring and passive, and it's equal. Probably I take black because black has two bishops. Now, black played knight a7. All right, that's not what I would play. Queen c2 here. And now, white played the very strange move, rook ad1, rook ed1, instead of knight c4. Like putting his knight on a good square, pressure here, knight goes to these, knight here is weird, and instead he ruins his pawn structure. It's ruined. So rook d1 was a very strange move. Black has a big advantage now. Queen e7 with that pressure there. And white overlooked that, as expected. And now black's winning. That's why black was upset they drew, I guess. Yeah, black's just up in exchange for nothing. Okay. Completely winning. Up in exchange and a pawn now. Knight here is a terrible blunder because of bishop g5. Man, I would be mad if I didn't win this game with black. God damn. So this is completely over now. You can't break the pin. If black wants to, we can play queen h6 and put additional pressure. And black's just up a rook. And the bishop is pinned. Now black can just take this. Okay. Black's up a rook and a bishop. God damn. Now this rook's hanging. So the player with black submitted this game and he wrote, I'm mad I didn't win. That is correct. You should be very angry you didn't win with black. I'd also like to point out that Trying to Learn said he was going to get rid of the bad games and only leave me with the creme de la creme. So this is one of the finest games that was posted. So white seems to blunder a lot of pieces. Like, and then he's down a lot of pieces. Okay, so black's pretty happy. Black played c6 because the queen can take this pawn, so he made sure he couldn't take it with c6. The engine also announced his mate in 11 with this move, but all right. The reason he played c6 was to play queen c7 and threaten mate. And then white stopped the mate. That wasn't nice of him. Oh, no, he gave his rook away. Yeah, the guy stopped the mate that you threatened. So that's why he played here. All right, well, that's one rook down. One plan is to go here and get an extra queen. They can blunder that. Okay, queen h5. Rook d2, all right. Rook d5. Never play f6. If I ever write a book, Never Play f6, this game will be in the book. Again, this is a good plan, queening this pawn. f6, allowing the perpetual check. Then the game was drawn. Never play f6. So hanging the rook was bad, and hanging perpetual was also bad. The only thing worse than that is in the election where they had hanging chads in Florida. That was also bad. And the worst of all, of everything I've mentioned, is hanging with Mr. Cooper. That's worse. So, to reiterate, hanging the perpetual, not good. Hanging your rook, not good. Hanging chads, not good. And the worst, hanging with Mr. Cooper. Thank you. Forced stalemate. No, that's not stalemate. Stalemate is a draw, but not all draws are stalemates. I've never seen 1 second of this show Hanging with Mr. Cooper, but it has to be the worst show ever. It has to be. How could it not be? Look at the title, right? $30. Yay, Kovacic. Papa John's is correct. Yeah. I mean, it has to be the worst. It has to be. It's actually not the worst show ever. The worst show I've ever seen where I actually watched it, I've never watched more than 2 minutes. Never. I'll take a lie detector test. I've never watched more than 2 minutes. It's always an accident. I'm watching a show, the show ends, and this show comes on. The worst show I've ever seen where I actually saw the show, like Mr. Cooper, I've never seen the show. I don't know who's in it or what it's, I don't know anything about it. The worst show I've ever seen where it actually was on my TV and I had to throw the remote at the TV and gouge my eyes out is, I forgot the name of the show because I'm so mad. What's the show with two stupid girls? Is that what it's called? Two Broke Girls? Two Broke Girls, maybe. What's it called? What's that show called? Two Broke Girls. I can't physically watch more than a minute. I can't. I couldn't. I'd have to go to the doctor and get my brain scanned and try to get that out of there. Yeah. Never watched it, looked bad. Right. See, the thing is, if you watch Seinfeld or Friends by accident or some other show on like TBS or one of those channels, sometimes the show ends and then Two Broke Girls comes on. Wow, that's really mean of them. I should sue TBS if that's the channel. I mean, if I had the right judge, I would win. Yeah. 2.5 Men, I've actually watched whole shows. And I just thought it was like an average show. Like, not too good, but not like Two Broke Girls. You can't, yeah. I mean, like, 2.5 Men's like a C. Two Broke Girls is like an F, 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 F minus. Terrible. Martin? I never heard of the show Martin, so I guess not. Right, I don't like Friends. Friends is a C minus at best. Seinfeld I like. Yeah. Right, but I think they're both on reruns on the same channel. Yeah. Yay, go Curb. Martin is a classic show with Martin Lawrence. I never heard of it. No. Friends, don't let friends watch Friends. That's true. BBT is good. What's BBT? Golden Girls was good. How do I donate? Now you're asking a good question. Exclam donate. Former muscle. I'm not a big Golden Girls fan. I'm like an average fan. Man, I used to watch Golden Girls because I lived in Europe. So I had to watch something. That was all I could watch. When I lived in the U.S., I didn't really watch Golden Girls. But in Europe, you got to watch something. Never saw Hot in Cleveland, but I heard of it. All right. Back to whatever it is I was doing. I don't know what I was doing, but I was white. Ben will approve of the last move. Twitchy. Wonder if I looked at this game. I don't think so. Okay, Twitchy's white, and I like the last move. 99 cents. Go Berenzin Chess. Soap was a great show. I agree. Yeah, Soap was great. Always Sunny's great. Seen all the episodes of Always Sunny. Fresh Prince was all right. B-. Here's what's good about Fresh Prince. You need to watch Fresh Prince for the following reason. There's only one reason. Occasionally, DJ Jazzy Jeff is on the show, and he's the worst actor of all time. So to see how bad he is as an actor, it's worth to watch the show. Then you're like, wow, how can anybody be that bad? I'm sure the average person off the street is better than DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, horrible. God damn. Etc. Rick and Morty's good, obviously. Yeah. Never seen Community, but I have heard of it, I think. I heard of it. All right, the more you donate, the more money we have. Time to donate. It's Twitchy versus his opponent. Queen's Gambit. This is how I play with white. I've had white in this position many times. Okay, these moves are all good. I approve of every move. Every move great. The engine actually likes that move too because the queen's defending the bishop, so we can't take with the queen. So in this position, since the rook and bishop are lined up, white should probably play bishop d3. Yeah, queen e2 is like an error. Yeah, now black's actually better. You can't play queen takes because pawn takes and all your pieces are hanging. So you have to take with the pawn. Yeah, now black's better because white's pawn structure is terrible. White's not losing, just white's pawn structure is terrible. Knight h5 is good. Excellent. He wants to put the knight in front of the double pawns, so white doesn't want to trade bishops because the knight could go here later. The engine trades bishops. It just says white's worse. But he played here. Bishop d6, obviously. Knight e4, obviously. He could put a bishop here. He could put a knight here, which is what the engine does. He actually went back here. That's probably what I would do. Bishop a6. Black didn't care about his rook. Black had other plans. Queen h4, threatening queen h2 and queen h1 mate. Knight g3 is excellent. Trading is good. Knight f4 would be a really good move here. He played here. That's also good. Black's great position. White has a terrible pawn structure. Very good position. Now he made a mistake. After queen d2, we want to play bishop g5 and trap the queen. But black wasn't worried. Black was like, rawr, I'm attacking, look at me. I'm Sandra Oh. So what black should do is stop bishop g5, which actually wins for white. He should play h6, knight f4, bishop f4, and black's position is great because white's position is terrible. And he blundered rook d8. He's not losing now, but he's lost his advantage. And here he made double question mark move because he missed white's last move, obviously, which Twitchy pointed out in the notes to the game. Black has to play bishop f4, and the game should be a draw. White's a little bit worse. Then they trade queens, and white has a bad pawn structure, but white has two bishops, and white's not going to get mated anymore with the queens off. But black wasn't worried about any of that. Black is like, I'm attacking, roar, okay? And queen h3 loses the game immediately. So black actually outplayed white for the whole game. Then he missed how strong this was, and then he blundered again, missing always play Bishop F1. Oh, snap. Gotcha, bitch. So that other game would be on the cover of my book, Never Play F6. The guy who hung the perpetual, a rook up and two rooks up. This is on my cover of Always Play Bishop F1. That's correct. Yeah, the queen's trapped. If you move your queen really far out, sometimes it gets trapped. That happens. Didn't see Bishop F1. Yeah, when you move your queen to the 5th, 6th, 7th rank, sometimes the guy takes it. You got to watch that. It's a double-edged sword. So the queen's a really important piece. So in wartime, normally the most important, people in the country don't go to war, right? They hide in the bunker when there's people outside protesting, even though they're like surrounded by 1,000 Secret Service with machine guns and fences and brick. They hide in the bunker anyway because there could be a guy outside with a sign saying, we don't like you. Okay? But in chess, people are always moving, raw, and then they lose. Yeah. Go trying to learn. Everybody loves Bishop F1. That is correct. All right, good job, Twitchy. Twitchy said, I think Ben will approve of the last move. That is correct. Good job. And so on. And already exhausted. 2 hours of streaming. Tired. Safest place. Everybody loves stalemate. 500 viewers. Hi, viewers. Another train. It's not time for a train. Who's my favorite wrestler? That's a good question. Hey, Grunge War. 200 sentences. My favorite wrestler. Abdullah the Butcher, he weighs 400,000 pounds, according to Dusty Rhodes. Then there was the Genius. He always had proclamations. That was good. Then there was, what's his name? Andre the Giant. You always wanted to see him. Go, Andre. R.I.P. Bowler CSGO subscribed. Hooray. Bishop F1 is always a good move. What if black plays knight e4? Then I would take it. Knight e4, Papa John's. F e4, more Papa John's. Now the rook is hanging because you played knight e4. So you can go here, then you're down a rook and a knight. God damn, he saved his queen. But at what cost? Well, nobody can dethrone Magnus because the only way to do it is to win a world championship match, and there will never be a world championship match again. So he's world champion by, acclamation for some reason. It's even better if it blunders mate in one. It shows your irreverence. Sergeant Slaughter was good. Yeah, he was from Cobb County, Georgia. Like me, except I'm, from Fulton County. But Macho Man Randy Savage, he was good. Yeah. The Governor was good. Jesse, the Governor Ventura. So many good wrestlers back in the 80s and 90s. What happened to those people? Frankly, terrible. You met Sergeant Slaughter. Jake the Snake was good. Right, I watched wrestling before you guys were born, and then when I got to like 12, I was too old for it already. Bobby the Brain Heenan, he was good. He was a heel. Bobby the Brain. What happened to the WWF? The World Wildlife Fund is still there. You can donate to them. They could save a panda for you. There's a funny video I saw on Twitter yesterday, unless it was today. There was a panda, and the panda had the baby panda with him, and the zoo person came and gave the panda an apple, and the panda took the apple, and then the zookeeper took the baby panda, and the panda's like, whatever. That was a funny video. Man, that panda didn't care at all about the baby panda. The panda wanted that food. Yeah, actually, George the Animal Steel was a wrestling coach in Michigan at a high school near me, near where I lived. Roddy Piper, he's great on Sunny. I didn't even know it was him. I mean, obviously, after seeing the episodes 45 times and seeing his name in the credits, but he's great. Roddy Piper's great in Sunny. He's just great. Man, I couldn't believe that wasn't an actor. It was him. Man, he didn't look as good as he used to look. That's for sure. Yeah. R.I.P. is correct. Yeah. I like when they're arresting him and he's like, let me tell you something, and they drive away. Oh, man. Iron Sheik is great. I agree. Stephen Wright is in Reservoir Dogs, obviously. Sounds from the 70s. Yeah. Or wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. The sounds from the 70s. That's Reservoir Dogs. All right, back to whatever it is I was doing. I guess streaming. I don't know. It's Timmy! Timmy said he was Wyatt. The game is not very long. That's good. Timmy! He's living a lie. Timmy! Let's see. Living a lie. Timmy. Okay. Let's see who the first in the chat can get what CF stands for. Yeah, something from South Park, right. I'm surprised nobody's gotten it. Wow. Really nobody got it yet? I'm really surprised nobody got it. I thought it would be spamming the chat. Terrible. Carlson beats Farrugia. That's funny. Wow, you guys are worse than I thought. Now, Riz is not 2,000 in USCF. He's probably about 1,300. You can't mention that type of fight. It censors the first word. Cripple fight. Right. All right. One of the best episodes ever, if not the best. It's not the best, but it's one of the best. Okay, so we got Timmy. He's white. Okay, bishop c4 I'm not a fan of after e6. Okay. So far, so good. Pretty low level, but, nobody's blundering. Rook e8 is weird. All right, transposing to an open Sicilian where everybody's down a lot of tempi. Probably black should play d6, knight d7, and hedgehog it up. Knight c6 is all right. You always have to watch out for e5. That's why black wanted to play d6 like 12 moves in a row, so e5 doesn't crush you. But he didn't seem to care. Finally, e5. And white's better. Now black should definitely take the bishop and have the two bishops. After this, black's a little bit better. Black has two bishops. Knight takes d5 was inaccurate and inelegant. Bishop takes e7 or bishop takes d5 is good for white. Now bishop takes d5 is good for black. But he played this. That's a mistake. He hung his queen. Whoa, he played here and hung his queen? Why would you hang your queen? What? Don't hang your queen. Timmy! Really was a cripple fight. Man, black's living a lie. Neither player familiar with the en passant rule. Next time you could do en passant. You could try it out for the first time. Timmy! All right, white's up a queen. And I guess black resigned because he's down a queen. That really was a cripple fight. Okay, so that game was sort of like white was better and black could have been better, and then black hung his queen in a very strange way for reasons I don't understand. Yeah. Regular Botez gambit. Two bishops. Yeah. Hangs queen, doesn't know en passant. Hangs queen, great game. Well, that's the game. That's the games you guys send me. I don't know. Then I get yelled at if I don't look at them. Anyway, Timmy won, so that's good. Timmy! I was white. Pretty proud for this for being such a low player. Perrier rep. You got to look at Perrier rep's game. No, I don't want PGN. I want this. Perrier rep proud. Someone else. I'm someone else. No other information. Time control or opponent's ratings or anything. All right, Perrier rep was proud. Okay, yeah, C6. See, here I thought black was being sort of coy. Maybe it's Nakamura. He would play like this, you know. But after C6, okay. A3, just nonsensical move. My understanding of such moves is I want to play here, then I want to hide. But A3, too passive and slow. Ugh. Man, this guy likes to, likes to do this. Knight E4 is better than Knight E2. Probably black would go here and then here. Now, if black was a student of mine, he would always play bishop F8. That way we have two different checkmates, confusing his opponent. Also, this game is ripe for neither player knowing the en passant rule. All right, so Knight E2 is not as good as Knight E4. Queen A5 check is terrible because I blocked the check 6 ways from Sunday. You move your queen again. Terrible. That is very dangerous. God damn. Too dangerous if you ask me. The engine says every move wins for white. The funniest is the first engine move here because he played Knight E2 to G3. So it's funny to do that. Yeah, this queen's no good. All these pieces are no good. Black's pawn structure's no good. And I'm getting a text from Carly Simon. She says, "You're no good." Wait, that's the wrong person. Damn it. It's Linda Ronstadt. I can't believe I messed that up. Trump rages as surprises fizzle. I like to rage. Pretty good. It says Trump is furious with furious anger and great vengeance or something. Okay, bishop B4. That's good. Knight D5. Rook B1's good. Knight C3 is the engine move. You could go here. That's what I would do. But the engine actually plays this move, which loses a piece, obviously. And white's just up a piece. So, all right. Terrible play from black all around. Man, black really loves to put his pawns on white's. He just loves it. Man, he must hate his white squared bishop. Okay, king F1 is nonsensical, so I like it. It's actually the third best move according to the engine. Let's him discover check anyway. Yeah, he could take the pawn, but he likes his pawns on the white squares, so that makes more sense. Knight F6, also knife F6. H5. He doesn't care about his bishop. He only cares about putting his pawns on the white squares. See, that's how he got rid of his bad bishop, by hanging it. Obviously, black should move his bishop away. Yay, good game from Perrier rep. All right, take the bishop next time, then you'll be more proud. Also, I think C4 wins the bishop here, and it's explosive. Perrier rep's like, I'm going to do some Fusta Vazoo here. He doesn't care about winning the bishop. Bam! Gotcha, bitch. Wow, you actually played a really good move here. Instead of queening, which is terrible, you played knight G6. That is correct. Very nice tactic. Rook takes a knight and check and knight G6. Rook F8's terrible. Should play Rook E8 because you want to get that pawn off the board. You want to give your rook away, but get this pawn. Not give your rook away and not get the pawn. And in this position, white has an amazing winning move. Now, first of all, every move wins. But there's a really amazing move that wins, which is bishop E7. Because you don't want to give your pawn away and get just a measly rook. You want to promote your pawn. That promotes the pawn. Rook takes bishop, queen. That would have been the nicest way to win if you played rook E8. Rook F8. Okay, that's... That's not good. God damn. It's the beating of a lifetime. King A8, ending the misery. Yeah, so white obviously outclassed black that game, although he could have taken the bishop on c4. But his rook g6, f7, knight g6. I mean, he should give me some more Perrier so I can compliment him more. What is Fusta Vazoo? Exactly. That's right. Saw that combination, didn't see the bishop was hanging. He was focused on that. He didn't care about the... Once you focus on something, you guys are like, I'm not, I got nothing else going on. That's it. You don't care about anything else. All right, we're really crushing these games. Only 800 games left. Damn, harsh. I got a text from Farrugia. No, I'm not going to look at your game. You play King C3. Play better if you want me to look at your game. Boo, boo. Let's see. Emails. COVID. All right. The Braves have COVID. All right, who's next? My first Karo Con ever. Con! I was unable to follow through. How can I handle it better, not blunder again? I'm black, 1200. I'm worried this isn't going to work because there's so many spaces, but let's find out. That worked great. Braveheart is black. Okay. Braveheart. And then, let's see, I don't know, Mel Gibson, I guess. I don't think I saw Braveheart. Doesn't sound like something I would do. First Karo Con I've ever played. I won a piece. I was unable to follow through and mate. How can I handle the position better and not blunder? Well, I don't know, play better. They can't take my freedom. Yeah, I don't think I saw it. Look at mine. Okay, so Braveheart's black. H3 is, some little anti-Semitic. Bishop d7's a bit passive. All right. c4 is a good move. Got to open the center up with the king there. Probably c5 is too quick. Get your bishop out, and then castle, and then play c5. Because your king's on e8, so I'm scared. Wow. That's really crazy. Yeah. Okay, now you're just in trouble because your king is here. You did too many things early and didn't castle right. You got to castle before you open the center. Okay. Now here, f3 wins a piece, but white knew never to play f3, which wins a piece. Played this move, which is really terrible, because it develops your bishop, pins this pawn, and helps black castle. So this is like the worst move white can make. Really bad. Okay, that just blunders f2. So you got to play bishop e3, and white's slightly better, I guess. All right. Black's just winning. Finally, you castled. f4 is good. Here you should play f3 because you're, teaching them a lesson here, etc. Got to break through. He stopped f3. No. No. And black's still winning. h5 is terrible because here the pawn can be protected. Here your pawn can't be protected. I can go here and here. God damn. So that's bad. Rook e6, unprotecting your back rank, that's risky. Yeah, definitely rook f5, rook h5, Papa John's. Yeah, I mean, rook e6, you're just hanging your back rank. You're hanging a pawn. You're still winning. It's good to be up material. G4. G4. God damn. Man, White, Mel Gibson, come on, you're crazier than I thought you were. Wow. G4 loses to every possible aggressive move black can play. Like, queen takes rook wins, queen e2 check wins, f takes g3 wins. The engine actually announces mate after taking on f3, g4. Probably neither one of you knew en passant. That would be my guess. Now the engine just announces mate. Wow, g4. God damn. Wow. So every move wins for black. You played rook d5, which is not good. Yeah, just taking this en passant, that all wins. Here, queen takes f4. That's okay. Queen b8 check's probably better. Queen takes rook? What? Like, how about queen takes... Was this a mouse slip? Take the queen. The engine plays rook d8 and says black is winning. But, I mean, take the queen. Then you're up in exchange for a pawn. Queen takes rook? What? Why would you give a queen away for a rook? All right, well, now it's a draw. White's probably better, but probably should be a draw. Yeah, this is a draw for sure. I'm sure somebody will be winning later. That'd be my guess. Okay, now White's winning because you played rook e6. But that's okay that you played this bad move because you're trying to win. That's what I would do. If you go here, it's a perpetual. So you were like, I'll lose, but maybe I'll win later. All right. You know, you're trying to win. I understand. That move just loses immediately because queen b8 check is a skewer. And then you resign. Yeah, that would have ended the game right away. But he played this check. He's still winning. Yeah, I mean, queen takes rook just wins easily now. And then here resigns. But he played queen c7, which wins even more easily. Now queen takes, again, wins for the same reason. And, yeah, okay, he won anyway. And I assume he resigned here. Yeah, because king here. All right, so black was winning, and then black's technique was really bad, but that's okay to have bad technique as long as you're still winning. But here, giving your queen away for a rook, you can just take this. Now the threat is here. Well, the threat is here, so you can play rook d8, you can play h6, your king has luft, you could trade queens, but taking this doesn't make any sense. Now it should be a draw, but you played too hard to win, and in this position you blundered with rook e6. After rook e6, you're losing. Check and check. Two check to pass pawns. But yeah, I mean, you can't just give your queen away for a rook. You gotta not give your queen away. Then you would have been up the exchange for a pawn, and you should have taken en passant, but you might not know what en passant is. I don't know. A lot of people don't. I know I didn't. Etc. What do you mean when you say Papa John's? What? This game was so bad. What about Farrugia? It was still better than Farrugia. Yeah. All right, see if there's any bad news. No news is good news. There's no news. I'm going to end this stream pretty soon because I have to go home, pack, and drive for 11 and a half hours, which I wasn't planning to do until 4 hours ago. So, and probably I'll stream Monday night. Probably. But I don't know yet. I'm definitely not streaming before Monday night. That's for sure. How can we find the Discord server? You can type !Discord, which I just did. Or if you're on a laptop or a PC, if you move the mouse and go under the stream, like move the page down, which I'm trying to do. Yeah. Then it says like about Ben Feingold, and there's a lot of panels you can click to follow me on Twitter, shop, donate, subscribe to YouTube. And the first one is to join the Discord. And what's funny is I think approximately half of the people who have ever been on Twitch don't know that there's panels below the stream, which is 99% of streamers have panels below their stream. You can click them and do YouTube and Discord and Instagram and all, and buy stuff. Yeah. Although, I think if you're on a phone or an iPad, that doesn't exist. I could be wrong. Yeah. To Oxford, Ohio, or England? Didn't know that. Yeah, basically under everybody's stream, if you just go down in the page, like click below the stream where it says my name and it has the title of the stream. There's all kinds of stuff there, especially for like video game pianists. He has like he's got like thousands of pages of, of how to submit a request and how to donate and how to be crazy. Yeah. Oxford, Mississippi, that's right. COVID. Look, I'm not the one who made Twitch so stupid. That was the Twitch people. Yeah. Oh, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. If there's something you know about anything, most people don't know it. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're like, 2 + 2 is 4, I know that. I bet you everybody does. No, nobody knows that. They don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. Remember that. Exactly. Please analyze my game. Rawr. Jude, New York City subscribed. Let's get another train going. Another train. Some people don't even know what a train is. All right. Excellent stuff on Twitter, but not too good. Am I a flat earther? 1 second. Yeah, looks pretty flat. Yeah. That was one of my top 10 jokes ever on Twitch. Some guy said something like about the flat earther and, how do you know the earth is flat or something? And I said, because they made it after they saw your wife or something. I don't know. I said some joke about his wife. I don't know. I think the kid was like 7, but it was still funny. 100 centidues. Cool John Doe. Yay. By the way, I'm watching Odd Couple from the early 70s, and I haven't seen the episodes in like 35 years. I was a kid when I watched it. And they don't have all of them on Hulu. They have some of them. So I'm watching one, and Jack Klugman, who plays Oscar Madison, he's at a Mexican restaurant, and he's eating, and he's watching baseball maybe. I don't know. He's watching some sporting event. I don't know. And the waitress is there, and she's cute. And he says, hey, come watch this with me. He like picks the waitress up and puts her on his lap, and she's laughing and with her like ready to take an order. And she doesn't speak English. And he's like, that's a hit. And she's like, yay. And I'm like, what is this, 1970? Man. In 2020, that show would be banned. And his children's children would be banned. God damn. Yeah. Yeah, and stuff they did in the 60s and 70s, are you kidding me? I've never been so ashamed. All right. I guess you jump over my game, Ben. Du Bishops, what else? Not Jack Lemmon. Jack Klugman is in the television show. Jack Lemmon was on Broadway or the movie. You're thinking of the movie, Pam. The movie had Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, I think. Broadway had different actors, but the television show from 1970 to 1975 had Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. By the way, 2 great actors, Jack Klugman and Jack Lemmon. If you want to see a great Jack Lemmon movie, The Out-of-Towners. The Out-of-Towners. Probably like 69, something like that. What a great movie. If you don't believe me, Pam can verify that. Just making reference to the movie there. Jack Klugman was also in 12 Angry Men. I think he was juror number 9. 9! I could save time in a bottle. That's Jim Croce. Now you're going off track here. Jack Lemmon was great in the China Syndrome. In fact, when they made the movie, they were mildly upset, more than mild, because Jack Lemmon sort of stole the movie from Jane Fonda, and she was supposed to be the big star in the movie. But the Jack Lemmon scenes were better. So, they were like, wait a minute, he's like, he's not the star of this movie. They had a good cast, that movie. China Syndrome's great. Let's see. Best Jack is Nichols. Terrible. Can't spell Nicholson. Terrible. The Apartment's good, but that's too hard for the chat here. Hagel Bagel. 1,000 centidues. Yeah, I thought I saw the Raven Hagel Bagel, but then I realized nevermore. Wait, who's knocking at the chess club door? Yeah. At the end of that episode, no, not that episode. There's an episode, that's Family Guy. There's a Family Guy where they do 3 vignettes of Stephen King. Then at the very end of the episode, Peter says, Stephen King, we'll see you in court. Yeah, the Post stuff, that was great. Yeah, the Raven was good with Homer. Very good episode. Grunge War, 200 centidues. Teaching Hegel this semester. God damn. What about Heidegger? I mean, Hegel's better, obviously, and less Nazi-ish. If you're teaching Hegel, then you have to talk to Kangaroo. Then Kangaroo can say, who's Hegel? Obviously, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. That's not the point. So when I was in one of my philosophy classes, my teacher was like, Hegel's my favorite philosopher. And I was talking to like a German guy, I don't know. And he was like, who? And I said, Hegel. He said, who? And he says, oh. He didn't like the way he was pronouncing it. This is a German trait. Germans pretend they don't know what you're talking about if you don't pronounce the name exactly like they want. So when I say Zugzwang, everybody on earth knows what I'm talking about except Germans. When I say Zwischenzug, they're like, what are you saying? Everybody on earth knows what I'm saying except Germans. They pretend they don't know what you're saying if you don't pronounce it the way they do. And Hegel was one of them. So the guy's like, oh, you mean, and he pronounced it differently. And he's like, I didn't realize, he's mad. Yeah. Truth hurts. Yeah, Kangaroo's like, what are you talking about? The guy says, I'm German. There's a lot of Germans on this stream considering all my Nazi jokes. There's a lot of Germans. Yeah. Zugzwang, you do bad, but Hegel is okay. That's funny. Those Germans on all smiles and sunshine. 200 centidues. 2 bishops, what else? We're here for the Nazi. Now, Kangaroo doesn't like the Nazi jokes. He doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. Yeah. It's Hegel, not Hegel. Hegel means hail. Wait, what? What's happening? Are you trying to say it's Hegel or Hegel, but not Hegel? No, they won't let Pam buy anything. I heard a noise. That's not good. Okay, that's okay. 200 centidues, 2 bishops, what else? Not only do Germans love kangaroos, but somehow kangaroos emote is the thing Wes likes. A koala. So, my friend Wes, who's been on the stream before, he's 79 years old, he's a master. He really likes koalas. There's like koalas in his car, koalas in his house, pictures of koalas. He likes koalas a lot. Zoidberg. That's right. Was Petrosian smoking a hookah today on stream? Didn't see it. All right. Puzzle battle. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, Xanth 13. Did I see that game yet? I don't think I did. I might have. Xanth 13 daily game. Tried some improvements. Still missed some mating attacks. Terrible. All right. So are you white? I don't know if you're white or not. All right. If you're here, Xanth, tell me if you were white. Xanth 13. He was white or black, so we'll just put both. I mean, he's complaining, so maybe he was black. But, you know, because white won. So I don't know. Let's see what it says on the thing. He was twitchy. White. Okay, you were white. No, the train died. You guys are the worst. Okay. Okay, not Xanth 13. So you complained a lot when you posted the game, but you won. So that's good. No, I lost. The train ended. Boo, etc. German girl from Blazing Saddles. She's not German, but she played a German. That's what's her name? She was in. She's in 1,000 movies, but she was also in Young Frankenstein. Who was she? She was somebody. She was Gene Wilder's girlfriend, I guess. And then she ended up marrying, she was his fiance. Then she ended up marrying the monster who was Gene Wilder at the end. So very suspicious. What's her name? I know her name, I can't think of her name. Her name in the movie is Lily von Stupp, but I can't think of her name in real life. Madeline Kahn, yeah, that's right. She was very funny in Young Frankenstein also. Damn. Hung out with Heidegger. God damn, he's 85. Hegel Bagel. Man, the Cheer 100 didn't work, but thanks for trying. You tried and you fail miserably. The lesson is never try. Jude's a conductor. Very good. Conducting electricity. I'm sorry you're tired. I'm sorry. Okay, Xanth is white. Plays the Verisov kind of opening. Queen D3 is, something. All right, this is okay. This move just hangs a pawn. So far the play is all right. I have no complaints. And now you should play bishop a5 or knight c3. This just hangs a pawn. Like, this is attacked twice, defended once. It was pinned, now it's not pinned. So now you win a pawn. Yay, you won a pawn. You're the best. All right, so now you're winning. You're up a pawn. Okay, good. Bishop c4 is good. And now you just have easy checkmate. So it's just standard puzzle rush mate. Mate. All right. Yeah, I'm always trying to do this mate with like h5, knight g6, hg mate. But your queen's already here. So whenever I have a bishop here and the king is in the corner, I try to play, usually I'm black, I try to push my h-pawn and play knight g6 and get the h-file open. But you can get the h-file open now and play queen h3 mate. Okay, so you played there instead, making the game go on because you love playing chess. So you wanted to play more chess. All right. Castles is good. Bishop b3 is good. Taking is okay, but you don't want to take here because the knight comes in, so just play rook here. You don't want to help your opponent's pieces. Okay, and then, wow, knight c2 is crazy. What a crazy move. I understand it, but it's too hard for the stream. The engine actually likes your position now, so it liked you taking there. All right, rook b8's good. Queen d5 is okay. Knight e2 doesn't make any sense. Knight e2? Forcing the king to safety. I mean, any move but knight e2. c5 is better. Rook fd8. Knight takes b3. Knight e2. Knight's almost trapped there. Terrible. Now white's doing great. Knight c6 is terrible. Yeah, and now you're just winning. Pawn up, safer king, better pawn structure, Papa John's. Okay, now, when Xanth played rook e3, the only square he can infiltrate that's not protected, hanging the rook, is this, which happens to win. And so black's like, I dare you to do it. So black should stop that. Terrible. All right. And then the rest, I assume, was very easy. Gotta assume something. If you're gonna mate your opponent, you want to play queen h5 or queen g6, not queen h7. Queen h7, the king goes to g5. So if you play bishop here, you're threatening queen g6 mate and queen h5 mate. So bishop f7 is forced mate, according to the engine. There's just no way to stop queen g6 and queen h5 mate. So you went one square too far. It was a mouse slip. All right. Yeah, now this is actually really important for you guys at home. The king can walk up the board to avoid mate, Nigel Short style, if you ever check him. Therefore, the easiest way to win and the quickest mate is h4, stopping the black king from moving to g5. Now you're threatening queen f8 mate, queen h7 mate. The king, that's it. After h4, the game's over. Black has to play queen takes h4. Otherwise, it's just mate. So stopping the king from going here and then mating, that's the good technique. c4 is explosive, so black resigned. Also, never play f3. Instead of resigning in a blitz or bullet game, black should play f3, hoping for gf3, and then you play king f4. And now white's losing unless he finds the only way to win. Now, obviously, bishop takes f3 just wins on the spot. But you know the guy could blunder. He could think, I'll move my pawn up and stop it, but you stop him from doing that. Now, always play bishop f1. That's the only way to win. And that's funny is you can't get that bishop because now white plays f4 and the bishop escapes. So you shouldn't resign. You should try f3 at some point. But okay, we completely lost. Playing for tricks. It's trying to learn. That is correct. Lily von Strupp. La 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 la. Bienvenue, willkommen, come on in. Man, so many good Harvey Korman scenes in Blazing Saddles, especially with Slim Pickens. My favorite scene with them, and there's several, is when Harvey Korman says, take this down. And then Harvey Korman speaks for about a minute about who he wants. I want this, and it's pretty funny. And while he's doing it, Slim Pickens is looking for pen and paper for like a minute. I don't know how you do that. And eventually he has it. And he's like, what'd you say after take this down? Because he was looking for pen and paper. And at the end he says, I want rustlers and bandits. He wants all these criminals. And at the end he says, and Methodists. That was the last one. Zan13 gave 3 subs. Hooray. Willkommen, bienvenue, come on in. Yeah. You know, like from Cabaret. Yeah. Stranger. Yay, I'm getting a raid from Axer Typo. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. With a party of 11, my favorite streamer. Give him a shout out. Go trying to learn. Go Xanth. Look at that raid. That was the best raid we've had this stream, I think. Currently playing Scrabble. Go Scrabble. Stranger. A friend of mine who was a good Scrabble player was playing somebody. This is 40 years ago at least. And his opponent played ATE. And my friend said, Ate, I don't think that's in the dictionary anymore. Japanese thing. And the guy said, ate. I just ate my lunch. And he went, oh. Sometimes you think about something else and you get confused. These things happen. I used to watch Scrabble World Championship on BBC when I lived in Britain. When I lived in Belgium before you guys were born. That was always fun. There was a good player from Michigan. Joe Edney? I'm probably making both of those names up. How can I make up two names? Anyway, he was, one of the best players. Where did you live in Belgium? At Chaussée de Charleroi 53, 1060 in Brussels, near the Avenue de la Toison d'Or. That was a long time ago. Joe Edley exclam. What? That name that I remember from 30 years ago is true? What? I think he's from Michigan, wasn't he? It's funny, the best Scrabble players in the world, a lot of them were from Thailand, and they didn't speak English. They just memorized all the words. They didn't know what they meant, and they couldn't say them, but they would put them down. They'd memorize the Scrabble dictionary, play Scrabble. Bam! Gotcha, bitch. The guy would say, gotcha, bitch, and they would call the director, and like, you can't talk to your opponent like that. And the guy's like, well, I don't know what it means. Did I ever live in Holland? I did not. Never. Joe is a legend. Yeah. Yeah, they had Scrabble on TV. Yeah, in BBC, like in the late 1980s, early 90s. Yeah. Good old Scrabble. Do I have any Scrabble stories? I have some. Go Scrabble. Yeah, I played Squirrel once in Scrabble. That was my greatest accomplishment of my life. I don't mean in Scrabble, I mean in my life, was I played Squirrel. That's my whole life. I'll never beat that. In any game, anything in life, nothing. Like if I win the lottery and win $500 million, it's more impressive to play Squirrel in Scrabble if you're like some noob like me, then, ridiculous. Yeah. There's a very good movie, although this guy might be furious. He might think it's the worst movie ever made. So I apologize if you hate this movie, but I really like it. I guess if you're a Scrabble player, you won't like it, but maybe you will. What's it called? It's a Scrabble documentary, and they basically follow this one guy around. And they talk to a few guys. The guy they follow around, he's a character. But it's funny, this movie was made like 30 years ago. Is it called Word Wars? No. It's a documentary about Scrabble. There can't be too many. But it was really enjoyable watching it. So I remember once, the guy was a pretty good player. He was probably, like in chess rating, 2200 at Scrabble. Although I think in Scrabble, 2200 is world class. Their ratings are lower than ours. But I mean, compared to chess ratings. The guy was a good Scrabble player. He wasn't best in the world, but he was good. And I remember, and he was an unusual guy. He's very similar to Emery Tate, the chess player. Similar kind of behavior. But anyway, he showed up like really late to his Scrabble game because his opponent was so much worse than him. He didn't care. And then he just destroyed his opponent. It was funny. But yeah, they were like reading words in the car while they were driving, memorizing words. What was it called? Word Wars? Word Wars. Yeah, that's it. I assume if you play Scrabble, you either like that movie a lot or hate that movie a lot. Because if you play Scrabble, probably a lot of the movie's lies and it's not indicative of the best players. It's showing, But if you don't play Scrabble, it's like interesting. Yeah. No, I'm sure the guy who rated me, if he's a Scrabble streamer, he's, got to be really good. Yeah. Anyway, if you never played Scrabble, Word Wars is fun to watch. If you're a Scrabble player, it probably just makes you mad, I would guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Word Wars. Top 20 in North America. Good. I remember there was some word like Aquaria, maybe, and then the announcers were like, I wonder if the guy knows about Aquarial. I think that was, and this is from over 30 years ago, so my memory's fuzzy. But I just remember when the commentators were commentating, the players were better. The players always played better than the commentators, even seeing all the tiles of both players. Players were better than the commentators. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was a funny guy. Yeah. Inexistent? A query is a perfectly cromulent word. That is correct. Yeah. So on the Flintstones, they're playing Scrabble, and Fred Flintstone plays the word Zarf, and they're like, Zarf isn't a word, and he gets mad and leaves, and everybody laughs at him. And the people who made this show didn't realize that Zarf is a word. So it was like a mistake in the show, but yeah. Don't forget that. My library has word wars. Yeah, that's a funny movie. Yeah. Yeah, you have to embiggen your vocabulary with cromulent words. That's correct. Also, what? I used to play a lot of Scrabble, but just for fun with people I knew. There's one guy I knew who was good, and if I played him, that wasn't good. That was just like I'd lose by a lot. But other people who were random people like me, then it was fun. It's fun to play Scrabble if you play people who are your level. If you play people who are way worse than you or way better than you, then it's not too fun. It's like chess. Yeah. Yeah. Playing for Scrabble was a blunder, that's right. Now, 30 years ago, the US Open in Scrabble, the first prize was $25,000. This is 30 years ago. And I was thinking, man, the US Open first prize in the US is like $5,000. So I was like, what? You know, I was furious. Yeah. See, the problem is, one of the bad things about Scrabble was I couldn't bear the proud man's contumely. It was awful. All right, we're going to end the stream soon because I have to drive a lot. I'll look at one more game. Maybe I'll play some Scrabble, except for one thing. All right, let's see. Direct the Casbah. Shall we? Don't like it. All right. I mean, this game is just white blunder to piece on move 5. But all right. I mean, the guy submitted the game. All right. Still one of the best. Yeah. Still one of the best games here. They used to play Scrabble before this guy was born, the guy who raided me. I assume he's not in his 50s if he's, top 20 in the world. At the game room in the Bar Point in New York. I think the game room. They played everything. They played Scrabble for money. They played chess. They played backgammon. So you're black and your opponent's doofus, and you're both 1,300. So, oh, that's right. It was Direct the Casbah's already there. Okay, and then unknown, and we'll put Scrabble player because that's funny. All right. Shall we? Don't like it. Rock the Casbah. All right. I think it was the game room. Yeah. Okay, so this is an England gambit, and here he just gave his bishop away. So bishop d2 is normal. Knight c3 is playable because after takes you can play knight d5 with the forks. But this just loses a piece. So the game has lost interest. But maybe there will be further interest later. Maybe something will happen. All right. This is like a lot of my blitz games. I've had black in this position before in blitz chess. Looks like one of my games. And black's just up a piece for nothing. So far, nothing has happened of interest in the... Oh, that's an interesting move. So here, black gave a piece away for no reason. The queen's attacked. He could just move the queen. He's up a piece. He's winning. Now he gives white a chance by going into the several pawn down rook ending. Rook takes, bishop takes is bad because the rook's attacked. Rook takes is bad because queen a1 will be mate. So this is the only thing he can do. And then black's completely winning. But black's less winning than he was. He was up a piece. Now he's up 2 pawns. So the game got slightly more interesting, but not much. Slightly. Still completely winning. I like the way white was forcing the rook trade, which doesn't help him. I would probably take with the rook here, I would guess. Yeah, the engine agrees. I would definitely play rook d6 here. Oh, the engine says rook b8's better than rook d6. Now I have to, okay, now rook d6 is better. Now rook b8 is better. All right. Yeah, definitely you don't want to mess your pawns up. You take with the rook. You can defend your pawn with your king and play b5 and get 2 passed pawns. This move is bad because you got a weak pawn, a backward pawn. Luckily, you're 2 pawns up, so you're still winning. And rook b3 is terrible. You have to take this. You can't let him play b4. That's way too strong. And then he resigned. All right. So black won a piece on move 5. Technique was iffy. He intentionally gave his bishop back, I guess. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Then he was up 2 pawns and he won because white didn't put up a lot of resistance. Back to Scrabble. Exactly. That was boring. Yeah, that's true. That was a snoozer. That's right. Scrabble players not very good at chess. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, white just fell into an opening trap, and black was completely winning the whole game. I mean, that wasn't, good opening trap. All right, I've been streaming for about 3 hours. You guys donated enough. I have to drive for 11 and a half hours. So I'll see you guys Monday night probably, but I might not. That's the earliest I'll see you is Monday night. It's also possible I won't see you Monday night. If I don't, that's probably not good. Yeah. So if I see you Monday night, that's better than if I don't, I guess. All right. Go, Ben. Monday, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do Monday. Yeah. And so forth. All right. Who do I raid? Thirsty Monster. That doesn't sound right. All right. I think I said so. I don't know. And then got to go home and cry like a grandmaster. Let's see. Is that right? Usually when I raid Thirsty Monster, he's not even on the stream anymore. But that's funny to me, so I don't care. That's right. Watch out for the Michigan militia. I agree. All right. See you on Monday, I hope. Bye.